Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Richard.
And I'm Noah.
And you can see by the garb,
it's back to One Piece.
It's back to One Piece. Let's talk a little bit of Impel Down.
A little bit more of Impel Down, because this is technically part 2 of the Impel Down, because you were so excited to talk about it last time that we did a quick hitter. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's in the top corner of your screen.
Yes, and you might want to do that if you haven't seen it already, because I went back and watched it to make sure that I don't double talk about stuff. Yeah. And then I realized how much I actually spoke about.
How much you spoke about. But we kind of just only briefly touched on a lot of it.
Yeah,
a lot of your initial thoughts.
And as I went back through, I kind of took a different approach this time.
Okay.
All right, I was looking at characters, and and almost like a character study.
It's a good section to do that.
It is. It's a very good section. And so Impel Down begins about chapter 522.
Yes.
This is while Luffy is at Amazon Lily.
Yes.
And it is when Gloriosa informs him that Ace is scheduled for execution.
Yeah.
Because it starts right there.
It starts right there, because Amazon Lily, he's still trying to get back to the crew.
Yes, he is. This is before he says, you guys are going to have to wait.
Yes, and you get that really intense panel of the silhouettes of all of the crew.
Yeah, no, it's gray, but it's not silhouettes.
It's not silhouetted.
It's each crew member.
I might have had a bad scan when I reread.
So oh God! Now that correct, this early in the video, and the train of thought just goes right the other direction. One of our lonely people commented in the last video that in real life this was a 2-year separation from the crew, and I'm going to have to tell you, and I apologize for not knowing your name. I probably should have looked it up.
I will hate myself for doing this later, but here you go. There's your name.
You live rent-free in my head. That comment lives rent-free as I'm reading this. Because I'm reading this adventure, and what I've mentally decided is the replacement crew. In fact, last night, as I was sitting on the couch and I'm taking notes, and Mama Peaches is watching Downton Abbey for the 27th time, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if you could do a 1-to-1 comparison between the crew and the replacement crew. And then I thought, no, I don't think that would actually work. I don't think you can quite
do that. No. I don't think there's enough.
Well,
they kind of pop in and out. And
they're just
very different.
Too different. But
it'd be a fun thought exercise.
Well, you know what? If anybody wants to try it, leave your comment below. Without spoilers. But
I think that's a done deal. I think someone's going to.
Someone's going to?
I think someone's going to, and I look forward to that comment.
Nami ends up on a small sky island called Weatheria. That's appropriate for Nami. All right.
Exactly.
Where she's shown wind knots.
Yes.
Okay, right. Oh, okay. Because I alluded to this in a phone call with you, but I did not tell you what it was. So if you untie 1 knot, you get a gentle breeze. If you untie 2 knots, you get a gust. And if you untie the 3rd, you get a gale.
Yeah.
Right? And
I believe it's from a fable.
Really?
I think that's from a fable. I think he drew from a fable. I don't know if it's an Aesop or if it's a Chinese. I am 90%... Because the thing is, when I got to if I may interject, I think when I got to this point in the story, I went, oh, it's a wind knot. And he untied it, and it created wind, and I'm like 99% sure that was in a story I read at some point.
So now I'm going to have to go research that tonight when I get home.
Because I'll take a look for you too. Because I'm pretty sure I distinctly remember a story of some kind involving that. The more I think about it, the more I think it's a Chinese story, and that would make total sense.
If there was a camera right here, and I've actually thought about doing this, if there was a way we could do this, because so many people have asked about my notes,
arm,
right? with a camera that looked down so that you could see what I've written here. Because the sentence that I wrote, if Nami brings that piece of rope back, and she's still enough of a thief to do it. So here's the question that I have. Mm-hmm. When are we going to see the wind knot in the future?
Okay.
And I'm going to be so thoroughly disappointed if we don't. Because that's Chekhov's gun. It is. Now we have to see it. And then the question is, how far in the future? So that Oda is counting on we've forgotten it. Uh-huh. Okay. And then how creatively does he use it? Because when these things are... when these things are dropped and they're not used well, it's kind of like... Who?
So early I wasn't ready for this. Oh, man. It's been a while since we've done a deep One Piece.
So who's the jailer chick with the underboob? She's real skinny, and she wears the crop top, and she's got the boots.
She likes torturing people, and that's all I know her by.
Yeah, and I can't remember her name.
There's so many new characters introduced, and there's so many.
She was so disappointingly underused.
Yeah.
Okay, now I say that to say that if the wind knot is disappointingly underused, I'm really going to be mad. All right, but you get this character that is drawn so seductively, but clearly so dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's pointed, everything's angular. It's like I'm going to inflict pain on you.
Yeah.
That then she gets underused, and it's like. Well, I was kind of disappointed. I hope we see her in the future, just to see if she lives up to the threat.
See, it's so interesting when you get in, because you're like, oh man, we're in this whole new location, and how quickly Oda just introduces and cycles through a character where they have such a unique design and such a cool personality in relation to how the story is structured, that you're going, oh man, I want to see more of this character. It's like, how good of a writer are you that even your side characters have so much potential depth to them? But also, he set the standard early, so it's
but here's the thing: it's not the writing on this character; it's the artwork on this character.
Yes,
it's the threat that is insinuated by the artwork of the character.
That is, yes, but that's a part of the medium.
Right. Yeah. And the only reason, I don't mean to nitpick, the only reason I point out from my perspective that it's the artwork and not the writing is because I'm paying so much more attention to the artwork.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so we get Frankie's on a mechanical island created by the future Lord Baltimore. And then we get to see the Frankie dance. The Frankie dance was hysterical in that section. I enjoyed that. Sanji ends up in Kamabaka, the Queendom, where he screams, "I'm in hell." Now, the fun part about that, a real fun part about that, is so many chapters later in the chapter artwork, you see Sanji fully embracing where he's at. The chapter cover art in this section of One Piece is hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the pictures that I put in our folder are from the section where it's one of the characters in an insect.
So just the fun little art pieces that he drew.
They're hysterical. Yeah. And the best one, and I might as well just say it right now. In fact, I'm going to pull it up because you're going to flash it out. Because this one, of all of the artwork that was done... And oddly enough, so Luffy is drawn riding a dung beetle. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I don't know how recognizable that is, which I found absolutely hysterical. But in an odd quirk of fate, I have to write an original children's story for this class that I'm in. And I had to sign up for an Australian insect, and I ended up signing up for Kershaw's dung beetle. And so I'm writing an original children's story, and your mom is illustrating it, that I'm turning in for an assignment, and it will be published at the end of the semester. about the dung beetle. But here we go. This is the picture that
Usopp
I absolutely...
Usopp with the mantis.
Usopp with the mantis. You know, that is absolutely fantastic. I saw that and I just started laughing.
Yeah.
It was such a delight. So what do we have? So Usopp is on Brown Island with a man eating plants and bugs.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of funny, his panic as he ran through there. Brooks ends up on Lazy Bones Island. That's hysterical. In the impoverished country of Hungaria. I like that. Robin's in Tequila Wolf, a bridge-top nation in East Blue. She's enslaved. That's tragic and ugly.
Yeah.
And so, the big question with that is, the question I'm waiting to see. At some point in the future, in this separation arc, or separation period, do we see their individual adventures, or at least abbreviated versions of it?
So, I don't know, and this is where I'm going to tread it slightly carefully, so I don't know. What was the last thing you read?
The last thing I read.
In this section. What is the last thing you read in this section? Is it marked? Is that it?
Yeah, it's marked. I stopped at 550 Navy headquarters. I might have gone a little bit deeper.
Let's see. Okay, so we have Ace walking out. We've got Buggy on the deck. Yeah,
I love Buggy. He was so much fun.
Okay, so you actually read a little ahead of where I stopped, I think. Yeah, no, literally, I stopped at this chapter.
At 549.
So, this is a perfect example. This is canon cover story. The Straw Hats separated cover story. And someone actually commented, again, future me will hate this name here because I can't remember, but some of their stories are being told in the cover stories.
Gotcha.
This is one of them, and this is the one where Frankie's I'm No Good This Week, final volume, The House Where Dr. Vegapunk Was Born. AKA, look, Frankie is at Vegapunk's birth house.
Okay. Alright. On Mechanical Island.
Do we want to, think about that just for a second? Because there's an implication. There's a great implication there. You were talking about how fitting it was for Nami to end up on a weather island. How fitting is it for Frankie
to end up on a mechanical island? No, it is. Very much.
Specifically, and the reason I bring that up is because I know I read it and we saw what happened, at least one of the things that happened to Robin. There's Frankie again.
Right.
I'm no good this week, free roaming cyborg animals.
Right.
He landed on an island with cyborgs. Let me see if I can find it.
Well,
amidst the great artwork.
I just had a thought. If Oda does not invest time into telling...
Oh, look, you found the gender bend Straw Hats.
Yeah, I didn't actually... Well, I looked at it the first time. I did not go back and
Here's Robin's thing. Robin, they do such terrible things, the final volume. The rebel army saves the slaves.
Yes.
So...
Yes.
She's out. She's free.
Yes.
And actually... Oh man, I don't know if I wanna say what mine copy said, but yeah.
Well, actually, I think maybe we should devote a short episode to the cover art.
Yes.
To the examination of the cover art. Well, no, I mean like in this section right here, because I think this is really important. But here's the thing: if Oda doesn't invest time in showing us what happened to them, but they learned stuff while they were in these places, then they can just say, I was on this island called and I learned this and now I'm capable of doing this. And he doesn't have to invest a tremendous amount of time in showing it. He can pretty much drop in anything he wants.
That is true.
So that might be a benefit to not telling their backstory.
Yeah.
It's just a thought that I had here. Chopper Bird Ruled Treasure Island? Yeah, you had a thought, I'm sorry.
No, it was just the commenter who talked about these cover stories also did mention that they did get adapted in the anime, so there is a point in the anime where they actually make episodes around these.
Oh, that could be very interesting.
These cover stories. So they delve into it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Expand upon these cover stories just a little bit. So it does technically exist.
Okay.
It does. A little bit of it exists. Yes.
Okay.
So.
All right.
That's about all I'll say on that.
So the one that probably I find the most interesting is Zoro landed on Gloom Island with Perona, but Zoro's the only person Kuma asked, "Where would you go?" So, why would he want to go to Gloom Island? Did he even know Gloom Island existed? Now, there's so much in his backstory with the loss early in his life. There's so much going on there. You could spend an episode just diving into Zoro and trying to figure this one out. But this is the one that's the most interesting. And I don't want to psychoanalyze too much because I want to be surprised. I want to see...
I think you'll be surprised.
I want to see how this...
I think you'll be surprised, but you're on the right track with Nami.
Okay.
I'm going like, how perfect is this?
Right.
And if we dive into the Frankie one, how perfect is that?
Yes.
All right. There's a pattern. You know, once is happenstance. There's a phrase in science. I just heard it. Once is an anomaly. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times is a pattern.
Right. Yes.
So.
Yes. So there we go. And then the final question
he
on
is
that...
very upset. I wonder if that's getting picked up.
I'm
going to apologize if Kiddo is...
I was wondering about that.
I'm wondering...
Do you need to stop and
I'm hoping the directional mic is not picking as much of this up.
Apparently, Balbon is cranky.
Yes, apparently he's very cranky.
If Nami gets the power of the wind knot, what do the others bring back from their individual adventures? That's the question I wrote right here.
That is the correct question.
Okay.
That is the right. That is the right question.
Yes.
That is the correct question. Good job. Good job.
So when we did our One Piece Impel Down update partway through thing, I had mentioned the Garp Ace conversation.
Yes.
And the question of who is the king of the sea. And on rereading that section, I realized that has got to be a reference to Whitebeard.
Yeah,
it can't be
I think someone
else.
said as much.
I don't remember.
I think someone did say it's implied to be Whitebeard.
Right.
I think there's a double meaning there. I think that's a bit, but it requires knowing some stuff that comes later. Ooh, are we upset?
Do we need a little grandpa love? We might need a little grandpa love. Ace refers to his absentee father as good for nothing. And mentions that he and Luffy have criminal blood flowing through their veins. No, world-class criminal blood. Not just criminal blood.
Yes, not just criminal blood.
World-class criminal blood flowing through their veins. And it's kind of interesting. Ace is clearly resentful of his father. Luffy was like, never stopped to consider that he had a father. And he so casually mentions that Dragon is his father. And of course, now, when we go into the...
Which is a great section with Ivankov, who... I love Ivankov as a character. Yeah. Ivankov's great.
I've got a couple pages on Ivankov.
Good, yes.
You know,
strap in, folks. This is going to be a long one.
So if you go way back into the Wayback Machine, when I made the mistake of researching Dragon, and I spoiled this for myself. And this is like back in chapter like 199 or something.
99, 100.
Well, chapter 100?
Yeah,
okay.
Logtown is around 100.
And then here it is, chapter 500 and whatever.
50-something.
Where it finally gets dropped. So that's how early I kind of spoiled that on myself, although I still don't regret doing that.
But yeah, you kind of figure it out in Water 7 with Luffy, and then getting told.
The reveal is so subtle.
When Luffy
when Luffy
drops it.
when he drops
it's so funny too.
It's so casual.
It's so funny because Ivankov's like, yeah, Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and Luffy's like, oh yeah, my dad.
Yeah.
And then Ivankov continues, yes, your father who's one of the blah 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 blah, and then you turn the page. Wait, your dad?
Hey, bud.
It's one of the funniest.
How are you?
Genuinely, I love that type of joke where they just continue because you get it with Buggy, you get it with 3, you get it with Bon Clay, you get that type of humor all throughout One Piece, and I never get tired of it. Hey, buddy.
So we get in, and I believe this is chapter 550. We get Sugoku reveals that Gold Roger is Ace's father, that Mom was Portugaz de Rouge, and this whole thing about hiding in the womb for 20 months.
You did read ahead, didn't you?
Well, so you know what? If you remember in that previous video, I said let me figure out where to stop.
Yeah, you're in 5. Yeah, I didn't read ahead to figure out where to stop, but you did.
I was deep into Marineford before I realized. Oh, wait a minute. Impel Down stopped a long time back.
That panel right there.
Yes.
Because you just said it.
Yes.
That is chapter 550.
Yes.
Okay, so we're cat's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. I don't need to hold that one back.
No, you don't know. You don't need to hold
God.
that one back. So that we get the information that Roger asked Garp to raise and protect his innocent son, and I was looking at the artwork on there, and I was like, Ace didn't know that. Ace didn't know that Roger asked Garp to do that. And that's kind of significant because I mean here we've got this guy that just he's classic symptoms of abandonment and resentment and anger and the whole bit, and suddenly he's like, oh wait a minute, he set up someone to care for me. He cared for me enough that someone had to take care of me. Ace has to deal with that information now. And I last video I asked the question, once all this stuff starts to become unpacked, does it change loyalties or the way he feels about Whitebeard in regards to the way he feels about his father? So, all of this is complex. I don't know if the story is going to go into that level of character development, but I would love to see it.
It's such a great reveal, too.
It is a great
because
reveal.
They spend the whole time because you were just on the Garp Ace conversation. This is where I was when you were like world class criminal, and this is what I wanted to say, but I didn't know that you had gotten that far, so I wasn't going to say it. But that is written, at least in this way, it's translated so well that you have no idea that he's taught. That you just assume. You don't know why he calls himself Portgaz,
right?
Until he's like, oh, I took my mother's name because I don't like my father. So you assume he's talking about Dragon. Maybe you know something about Dragon. Luffy doesn't, obviously. And you're like, oh, okay. But then no. Turns out, nah. Of course, I knew this before I read it. But like when I came in and read the writing, I was like, oh, man. Like he strung this out.
Yes, he did.
Like he did.
Yes,
this
he did.
This was a twist. I can only imagine what that must have been like at the time. Reading it weekly.
Had to have been huge.
I can imagine that it would be.
If there are beats in this story. Hey, bud, how are you? Just adorably distracting. Hi. Dancing in his Packers jersey. Woohoo. All higher order thinking has just gone dead. Right? It's like, look at the baby.
But, okay, cool. The big twist. The big twist. You can stop worrying about that one. So I feel better now.
You look at there was the quote in a story about what took place when Rouge was trying to save her child, and the Navy, the world government says, and I wrote this down verbatim. Check all the children born up to 10 months after his capture. Inspect all pregnant women. Kill anybody who looks suspicious. This government needs to be burned down.
Yes.
And you need to start over.
It's one of the things that I was writing about this section of story, because, you know, the one thing that I can contribute to this is the second read perspective and really digging into it a little bit more in the context of what you've been reading. And it's like, you know, I've always tried to find like a theme within it, but I didn't quite find and I've been slacking on the last few videos, but I didn't find so much of a continuous theme, more that I mentioned this in Sabaody, that we're starting to peel back the curtain on the world government.
Yes.
That they not only accommodate, but they participate in a slave trade.
Yes, they do.
That the Marines are complicit in this.
Right.
Which now adds a layer of complexity to every single Marine that we get introduced to.
Yes.
At any significant level. Because now you have to question how much of this are they aware of, and how much... Because up to this point, you could say Smoker, Tashigi, people on that level, maybe they're not quite aware. Maybe they've seen some shit. Maybe they've seen some questionable stuff, but they haven't seen behind the curtain. They haven't peered. They're not high enough to see the atrocities, right? But I'm, first time through this, I was like, there's no way Garp doesn't know.
I was just sitting here thinking, Garp knows.
Garp went down in Impel Down, and we get on full display. There's no way you can go into Impel Down as a government official or a Marine official and not know what they're doing down there. Because Impel Down is not a prison. It is a torture chamber.
Yes,
it is designed to instill fear and submission.
Which just makes my heart break for Tom even more. And
right?
And
it recontextualizes everything the more you start peeling the corner. O'Hara.
Mm-hmm.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And yeah, the world government is very quickly becoming the enemy.
Oh yes.
In One Piece.
Oh yes.
In a way, now I will say, this is that quote that very Hebrew.
Which one?
Check all the children born up to 10 months after this capture.
Yes,
All
it's
pregnant women
very,
kill anybody.
it's very Old
Testament.
Testament.
It's very Old Testament. All right. So,
that is a very Old Testament. But yes, no, they were that scared of the potential.
Yes.
And now you have to question. So, I mean, yeah, you have to question Garp, but now you have to also think from the alternate perspective. What if
he left?
He left.
He got up and left.
What does Garp say to Ace the first time? I wanted you and Luffy to become upstanding Marines.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the government now. This is the hypothetical what if, but it's what you always have to question in a story like this. Is like, is the world government committing a self-fulfilling prophecy? Because Garp if Garp was given Ace and told to like keep him safe, and Garp had that perspective, I don't think Ace would have ever become a Marine. I don't think Luffy would have ever become a Marine in any reality. But
maybe Garp didn't know back then.
Maybe Garp didn't know. But like, they were so scared of the potential. But like, isn't the obvious answer to find that kid and not kill them? Isn't the obvious answer to turn your greatest adversary into your greatest weapon?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen how much of a thorn he's been because he escaped.
Right.
It's like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They tried so hard to bury and erase Roger's lineage that...
Yeah.
That they turned it into an even greater issue. And now look at the situation they're in, because he found Whitebeard, and Whitebeard is from the same,
It's the Voldemort mistake.
Exactly.
It is. It very definitely is.
It very definitely is. And we're talking less about Impel Down and more about Chapter 550 and that reveal, but that's okay.
You know what? That's okay. That is quite alright. That is like that.
Because there will be plenty more to discuss about Marineford.
Half a page of notes in that one.
Yay, let's keep going.
So Whitebeard reads in a paper in this whole section that Ace turned down an offer to be one of the 7 warlords.
Yes.
So Ace is clearly even more powerful than we've seen, but makes me wonder how he lost to Blackbeard, because we find out in here that Blackbeard got him put into Impel Down, and Blackbeard's plan was to get him caught. So it kind of ramps up Blackbeard's threat even higher, right? And that's unresolved as of this point in the story. So
there's a lot of establishing of like scale.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like we start getting drip fed like the admirals, but now it's like all of a sudden our ceiling, Luffy's ceiling of what he has to reach just shot through the roof.
Sure, but we see Luffy developing way back in Amazon Lily when his Haki just gets released and he doesn't even know he's doing it.
Yes.
And he just like flattens everybody. And what was it that one of the Gorgon sisters said? They make a comment about the power of that Haki is only for the super...
It's 1 in a million.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah, one of the true leaders.
It's typically called the color of the Supreme King. I don't ever remember. It's different with every
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, that's it. It's
color of the Supreme King.
Of the Supreme... Yeah. Where did I wrote that down somewhere.
Buddy, we're trying to film.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. So let's see here. Little details, little beats that are kind of along these lines of establishing relationships and building power structures and everything. Ace meets Shanks and they become friends. He fights Jimbei for 5 days. Now, if Ace is that powerful, and Jimbei was one of the warlords of the sea, so you've got a power balance there. The whole Ace trying to kill Whitebeard daily, and Whitebeard knows Ace is Roger's son. He doesn't care, and he's like, "Are you done yet? Are you done?"
Kind of makes Whitebeard like the chillest person. So far,
yeah, it makes him the chillest person. But I just realized this, like right this moment.
Oh,
Whitebeard is as casual with his overwhelming power as are the admirals. Like when we were talking about, and I, that just occurred to me here that
just is so chill.
Yes,
it's like you reach that level of confidence in yourself. Nothing's a threat.
Yeah, nothing's a threat, and we're looking at it going. I've been looking at the fight as it's taking place on Marineford before I stopped.
Yeah,
and I'm like, when are the admirals going to get involved? And in fact, the warlords are barely getting involved, and I'm like, I want to see Mihawk in action as much as I don't want to see anybody lose to Mihawk. I want to see Mihawk doing his thing. I really do. And so I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm like, come on.
Oh man.
Loose.
If you okay.
We're gonna see Mihawk in action?
I'm not even touching the Mihawk question. What I will say is there is multiple moments coming up, but there are some moments, specifically one.
Okay.
That you will be like, oh my god, this is so cool! And
that it actually is a really good impersonation of me, because that's what I do at home.
I know, I'm very good at these. Just because there's a lot of hype moments. There's a lot of really, really. I mean, you were asking about power panels.
Mm-hmm.
Marineford is basically nothing but power panels.
Gotcha.
Like the entire freaking time.
Okay.
Like it is like too many to count. There are so many moments that are just like, oh my, how does this keep getting bigger? Like,
right.
You don't even know. But there's a moment that you are going to be convulsing.
And it's coming up very shortly.
No.
Dang. It'll be one of those moments.
Marineford is surprisingly long.
Mama Peaches will do this. We'll be laying in bed at night,
yes,
and I will do that, and she will go like this.
Yes, I know, because people have been asking for the live reactions to several of these moments, and I'm like, I'm sure that Mama Peaches will be doing this every few minutes, every time he goes, oh!
Some of the stuff is just so cool.
Oh,
it's just,
well, there's going to be a lot more.
All right, so let's see. So there's the whole section of Ace is trying to save Luffy while he's on the platform, and he's waiting for execution, and he does it by trying to insult Luffy. Mm-hmm. He does it by trying to tell Luffy that their shared past is over. He tries to say that they are no longer family. He tries to do all of these things to push Luffy away, and what he doesn't know, clearly, is that Luffy is impervious to this stuff. Nami tried to do this and failed.
He's rubber. What's the phrase? I'm rubber, you're glue? Yeah, okay.
Robin tried it, and it failed.
Robin tried it. Everyone tried it.
Once his mind is made up...
No, there's no stopping.
There's no stopping him, and his mind was made up before he even got to the platform.
Look, right. Only a few people have gotten Luffy to calm down and actually assess a situation. I'm sorry, Ace, you're not one of those people. It's like Nami can do it, Vivi can do it.
And I know who else can do it, and I know who else is going to do it more because we see him do it the first time in this section of book. And it's going to make his character so stinking cool to be a member of the crew. Jimbei. Because
Jimbei's great. I knew you would love Jimbei.
Jimbei grabs him. Look, I love Jimbei's artwork from the moment we meet him in the jail cell.
The Jimbei introduction panel is one of the hardest images ever drawn.
Okay.
Just in terms of like, it goes so f***ing hard. Like, that is a badass way to introduce a character. That is such a cool establishing panel, because we've been getting him hyped, and it does not disappoint.
It does not disappoint at all.
It does not disappoint at all.
No. So,
dude is a fucking badass.
Well, so, his ability to... So, I didn't realize... because we've talked about the ages of the crew members in the whole bit, and the fact that Frankie and Robin are 10 years older, and they're but they are lacking a voice of wisdom, and Jimbei is that voice of wisdom.
You're right,
and I'm just like, this is going to be so cool.
They need that voice of experience.
Yeah,
experience.
Yeah, because Jimbei's not going to stop Luffy, but Jimbei is going to. Not even control Luffy, but he's going to guide him in ways nobody else can. He's going to guide him in ways Garp couldn't.
Garp's too much like Luffy.
Well, there's a little bit of truth in
I mean, you can see in the in-between, around the time that Luffy is heading to Impel Down, when Garp and Sengoku is acting like Zoro, like Nami, like Sanji, like anyone on the crew who's trying to take a situation seriously, and Garp is just Luffy.
Yeah.
Like, that is the dynamic.
Okay, but so
you see, it's like you see where...
It's interesting you should say that, because I keep looking for evidence that Garp is playing a long game, and we haven't figured out what it is yet. Mm-hmm. And if he's just Luffy, there's no long game, and I'll be really disappointed. Because this whole time, and I asked it in the last video, what is Garp up to?
I'm not trying to be, like, reductionist when I say that Garp is just Luffy. Garp is very Luffy-like, but Garp is Luffy... Luffy is so focused on... Luffy's very selfish, because Luffy is, I want to go on an adventure.
Yeah,
I want to find this, and I care about me and the people I care about, like the people I find friends. Garp is a Marine, and inherently, the good Marines, if we're going to call them that, as we're starting to see,
I'm glad we're going back to that,
which is a good, it's a great discussion to have.
Oh, what's wrong with the little boy?
It's a fantastic discussion to have, because you get it in so many different stories like this. But can we call the question, can we truly call them the good Marines? You know, what are their intentions? What are their purposes? Are they hoping to change the system from within? You know, there's so many questions to ask regarding them that that's so distracting.
If you bring me the boy, his hat, and a pacifier, I will hold him.
The question of, and now my train of thought left the station. Garp as
sorry,
it's not your fault. It is a 2.5-month-old's fault. The thing about Garp is in the same vein of Marine as Smoker, and Smoker has a sense of duty.
Yes, he does.
That sense of duty that Koby has. I want to save people. I want to protect people. This also, that also brings up the question for Koby. But hold on, because
it's a question I've been trying to get to for 20 minutes.
When I say Garp is Luffy, I'm more mean like in personality.
Gotcha.
But Garp actually has that sense of duty to that Luffy doesn't. Luffy has that sense of duty to his friends and the people that he cares about.
Yes.
But Garp is like, I'm a Marine, my job is to protect people. So it's like if you had Luffy, but you had that, like Luffy was trying to be a hero who protects people. That sort of thing.
It's
a little more like that.
Akiro?
Akiji.
God, these
names are...
I really need to make myself a cheat sheet. I'm wondering now if there's a point in the story where Smoker and Tashigi and Garp and Koby and the Admiral, I wonder if they come together against the government. Do we get that in the future? Crew coming together too, because you can see the makings of it, and when you invest in the story, a couple years of in real life where we leave the Straw Hats in different locations and we get this mini crew, are we going to get all of these forces coming together to realize they've got a common enemy?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm also not saying you're right.
Okay.
I'm saying you've got a good thought process.
Okay.
You've got a good thought process.
Okay. And if they're not
on a right track, sort of thing.
If they're not battling side by
infuriating?
side as a uniform team,
I know I was doing so good last episode, but
are they at least not getting in each other's way because they see the direction the other is going? And it's more like, I'm just going to let this happen and turn a blind eye to it because it needs to be done.
I was doing so good last episode, so many things. I will not say that you are 100% correct. I will also not say that you're 100% wrong.
Okay.
I will not confirm anything more than that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I caught the look, though.
Yeah, I know. You caught the look. I lingered a little too long. You would have seen it in the replay anyway. You would have seen it when you got further. It doesn't matter.
So the big question that just occurred to me 20 minutes ago-ish.
Don't worry, there's plenty more spoilers that I'll have a poker face.
Is that Nami's tangerine tree up there in the corner?
No, that's just a lucky orange tree, Chinese Lunar New Year type stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted.
No, it's all good.
I'll finally get to my question. Does Koby get to a point in the story where he suddenly realizes something here is not good and I can't just be loyal? Because I said in the very, very beginning, way back in the beginning, the story is set up for a showdown between Koby and Luffy. And Koby can't possibly compete against Luffy. Their power imbalance is just...
Not where he's at now, no.
Right. So either Koby becomes some absolutely amazing... I mean, maybe he gets a devil fruit power along the way. Maybe it's glue, Rubber versus glue. Who knows? He eats the Elmer's.
That's funny.
The Elmer's fruit. And
that's funny.
So,
and that's funny on several levels.
So,
that's funny.
Oh
man,
I'm glad you enjoyed that. So does
funny.
Does he change? Does he like suddenly realize, wait a minute, I can't just blindly continue to support this because I've seen things that are wrong? And he may have witnessed the start of that way back in Nami's story, when the money she saved to buy the village's freedom from Crocodile was stolen by...
Do remember that is a live action thing.
Was that a live action thing?
That was a live action thing only. That was a live action thing only. However, he was there for Axe Hand.
He was there for Axe Hand.
And Axe Hand was the actual corrupt Marine.
Okay,
so... And he even says from the beginning, I don't want to be that kind of Marine.
Oh, I just found it. I had a little paragraph, because when I went back, I forgot where I started from and where I was supposed to, and I have a tiny little section on Amazon Lily, and we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. Luffy one-pounding the Panther Executioner.
Oh, wasn't it so cool?
Like
just boom!
Yeah, it was just like, oh, okay. Gone.
Boom.
So Bakura is great, especially the artwork. I really enjoyed that whole section.
Mm-hmm.
So he used a Supreme King Haki. You were right, it was Supreme King.
Color of the Supreme King. Yes.
Yeah, on the Gorgon sisters, and he didn't even know he had it. They said it's 1 in a million. And then there's that whole thing about what's on your back has nothing to do with our duel.
Which is a great Luffy moment. This is, like, I kind of hinted at it, but we're really in the thick of I told you this a long time ago, that we get introduced to all the crew members, and Luffy's kind of just the stagnant kind of, like, force. He grows a little bit, he learns here and there, we start seeing glimpses of Luffy growing. This is really the stretch of story where we get to see Luffy shine as the main character.
Gotcha.
We get to really see not only how far he has come, we also get to start seeing how far he has left to go, but we also get, it's like a big progress check for Luffy. It's a great section of story for Luffy's character to shine through, because we kind of lose that in the chaos of, like, Enies Lobby, in the chaos of Alabasta, where everyone's fighting a different person.
Right.
You know, but now we get nothing but Luffy for, like...
And we get to see
100 chapters,
yes.
And we get it laid out right in front of us. And yeah, we get other characters, and we get to see, you know, their development too. But this is a great step back to just re-examine Luffy and see his good qualities shine through.
And he still has,
I love this part.
2 more power levels for me to see him get. He can power level 2 and 3 right now. He
can power level 2 and 3. Gears.
Yes. But he's got 4 and 5 coming, doesn't he? Do I remember that correctly from...
Your hoodie has Gear 4, I think.
Is it Gear 4?
I think that's why people were upset about it.
Oh, yeah, people were upset about it. Yeah, I got it for $10, okay. And I love it, so, you know, it didn't bite me.
You didn't even know what you weren't even at Gears at that time.
No, I wasn't at Gears at the time, but I saw this opportunity to get this hoodie made of a material that's really warm that I really like, and it's one piece. And
it's a good hoodie.
It's a good hoodie. People compliment me on it all the time. And I have no idea what it is, you know.
You'll like it.
But you know what I say
to cool.
What I say to people when they compliment me on the hoodie?
Yeah.
Because I really don't know what's going on in the hoodie. I just know it's one piece. I say, it's clean. This
is clean today.
Which I actually used that in class, because one day there were like 8 of us who had hoodies on, and our professor went through the class and identified each hoodie and asked, you know, what does that mean? What does that say? Why did you wear that? And I just said, it was clean.
It's clean.
That's my bare minimum for going out in public. You know, it's just like,
is it clean?
Good enough. Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah. I'm a subscriber to Good Enough Housekeeping magazine. For those. How strong? I had a verb problem here. I couldn't decide if it was is, are, and I should know better. I really should know better. How strong are Ace, Jimbei, and Crocodile? They went through the Impel Down, quote, baptism ritual without batting an eyelash. I mean, just...
It's,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just how you, are they? I don't even know how you say that, how you put that into words, but that attitude of, nah, I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction. You.
Yeah. Yeah.
All for different reasons. All three of them for different reasons, but yeah.
When you see Crocodile in the prison garb, when you first see, he's got the same arrogant, confident
Isn't it such a
look.
great reintroduction? Okay, I'm getting into it. I fucking love Crocodile's reintroduction. Like, holy crap, is this just a great section of story to get these characters back? Crocodile, Bon Clay, Mr. 3, Buggy, all become completely new characters in this section of story. They are so fucking good. I love this section of story for that. It's so entertaining. Because, yeah, obviously Crocodile is still the same arrogant ass. But he even just says, I'm done with Alabasta. I have no interest in it any longer.
Yes, he does say that. Yes.
And he's like, what is he saying? I'm going after Whitebeard. Oh, there's a fight with Whitebeard? I'm going to go take his head.
I made sure that I clipped this. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here. And you will have to show this one since we're talking about it. I mentioned this in the last video.
Artwork.
Well,
Crescent Cutlass.
Crescent Cutlass, and it's so brutal, cutting people in half in a series that avoids this level of brutality.
Now, I think having read that, what I think it is that he's not physically cutting them in half. I think in the next panel they start shriveling up because he's dehydrating them, which is no less brutal. I'm trying to remember.
It's.
I don't think he I don't know. Though.
It's
still brutal.
It's pretty cool.
I said this in the last video. I even made a short on it. The boss when you fight him, the boss when you unlock him as a playable character. He's just. We see even more out of Crocodile because he's like, oh yeah, I'll take care of this door, and like sucks all the moisture out of the door, and then there's people there.
Oh yeah,
him, Luffy, and Jimbei all fighting at the same time. They're just destroying fools, and Crocodile is just going through it with ease. Well, does not care.
So way back in the archipelago, when we saw Luffy teaming up with Law and Kid, and you're like, oh, look at these three up-and-coming powerhouses together. They are nothing compared to this comic. I mean, I was excited about seeing those three together, and it's just like, it just pales by comparison.
Oh, he is very upset today, now that we've stopped being loud about it.
Well, you know what? I
can hear him.
Let me hold him. I'll calm him down. Jimbei. So this is so cool. Jimbei tells Ace, it's not my flesh that hurts, it's my heart.
Yes.
Right, that says so much about him, as he's in level 6 of Impel Down.
He is bloody, he is chained, he is...
Right,
yes.
He has just lost his warlord status, which clearly is not a big deal for him, because I just had a conversation the other day with a person about the value of being confident in yourself when you know you're right, and not expending energy trying to prove you're right. Yep. Just be confident in what you know.
Yep.
He says, I'll gladly give my life to stop this war. And then we find out that Whitebeard claimed Fishman territory as his territory and protected the fishmen. So there's a level of loyalty there.
After we get a little bit of world building there too, just because at least when I read it was after Roger started the Great Pirate Era.
Yes.
You want my treasure? Go find it. We all know.
Right. We know that.
You've seen the opening.
Yep.
But that people were just running through fishmen and taking them as slaves and auctioning and pillaging.
Which
also
almost makes our first villain a sympathetic character. Almost.
Yes, and I actually will discuss that when we talk about Boa.
Okay.
When we get around to it. But I mean that also, again, we're talking about ceilings being raised. Whitebeard showed up and said, "This is mine. Stop with them."
Yes.
And people listened.
Yes.
What does that say about Now, what does that say about Shanks? Because Shanks is also an emperor.
Right.
And it's also mentioned in this section that what Shanks is currently doing in the background. The Marines are talking about it. Do you remember?
Yeah. No, I don't remember.
Okay, it says Shanks is currently intercepting Kaido, one of the 4 emperors who was heading to fight Whitebeard.
Okay.
So a third, it's also the one that is mentioned that Gecko Moria, or Gecko, that Gecko fought,
right,
is Kaido. Shanks is currently off engaging another emperor who was after Whitebeard, who was making a move on Whitebeard as Whitebeard is making a move on the Marines.
Right.
Scale keeps rising. Scale keeps rising.
And so you get this scene in one of the, I don't know if it was a Marine or a crew member who makes the observation, Luffy is standing next to Whitebeard and they're talking, and someone says, look at him, he's talking to Whitebeard like they're equals. Now this is go way, way, way back to when Whitebeard is introduced, and you got the whole people collapsing because his Haki is so strong.
I have to label this the Impel Down episode with a little marine fur.
Well, so look,
with a little bit of marine fur.
but this is
got that far, yeah. That's a.
This is the effect of I'm trying to figure out where these things start and stop without being told, and so I did read a little bit too long before it occurred to me. Wait a minute, right? But I can't not cover this stuff.
Oh, no, because you've read it.
Because it's there.
No, isn't that a great moment where they're standing? Also, all of the ships on the shelf have been introduced officially to you, by the way, because we have Whitebeard's ship, we have Shanks' ship, and we have that's Hancock's ship.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I also have the Going Merry down there, but I need to finish putting it together.
Okay, but Springy Luffy is still my favorite.
It is great.
Yes.
I don't know, I'm a big fan of this.
That one is really cool.
I love this.
Yeah, that is really cool. And I miss the boat. I miss the boat. I do.
Sunny?
Yes. I miss the boat. Sadie was the security chief.
There you go.
Yeah, I jumped my notes by about 3 pages. And then we talked about Bon Clay in the last video. I mean, I just cannot say enough about how much I love this relationship with Bon Clay and how it's coming together.
You see why everyone in Alabasta was talking about how much they love Bon Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I knew it. And it was one of those where I was like, just trust me, you'll get there.
It's so good, and
Bon's so good.
Yeah, this whole thing of the two of them. Let's just say the mutual respect, admiration, and love between Bon Clay and Luffy is really cool.
As friends,
it's just
friends.
It's really cool.
It's reciprocal to how Luffy views his friends.
Yes, yes. I can see why Bon Clay couldn't become a member of the crew. And I can see why Luffy would not invite him and ask him to be a member of the crew. But he can very definitely be an ally that he relies on for a while.
And there's a lot of characters like that. And this section of story is really kind of delving into that. Luffy has a knack of getting allies.
Yes, he does.
He has especially people who were formerly enemies. I mean, he got 3, Buggy, and Crocodile, along with Mr. 1. Whoa, you don't say!
You're not going to tell them your really sad story that you were telling me just a little bit ago?
Oh, is there a sad story?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us the sad story.
Oh, he's got a pacifier in his mouth. He's technically gagging himself. He can't really talk. We'll see.
I realized as we were sitting here that I brought the sweatshirt that had him so transfixed.
Yeah.
The last time I wore it, he just sat and stared at that sweatshirt.
But yeah, it's fantastic. Just turning people into allies to.
Yeah. So now,
Ivankov.
I think. Well, my last section of notes that I took for this section is about Emporio Ivankov, however you want to say it, the Kamabaka Queendom queen. He's got a death wink. He can make people change genders, like, repeatedly, apparently, right? He is a far better looking female character than male. We just say it. Like, it's so much easier on the eyes, and it's very brief. It's very brief. There's just like a couple of screenshots of him. It's like, oh God, Oda, thank you. Thank you for giving me the break. So the horm fruit, which I just hysterical. I'm wondering how these things are written in Japanese. Because the translations are hysterical, and I'm just wondering if they are that funny in Japanese.
I think they're technically more offensive in Japanese, but
more offensive. Oh,
yeah, they to Western ears.
Okay,
I have heard.
I can go with the offensive version of it. We're gonna have to look online for the dark One Piece things they don't want to tell the West. Oh no!
No.
I can't use the grandpa rule because he's awake. Yeah, okay. Von Clay wants to save Iva. Iva is a comrade of Dragon. We learn all of this, in this section of Impel Down. Luffy says,
Revolutionary
you
Army.
mean my dad. On the second read through, it struck me stronger than the first one. The little section where Iva says, "Dragon stared off in the direction of East Blue," and then you get this panel of Luffy's reaction, and you realize it's the first time maybe Luffy realized that his dad does care for him. Now,
the first time he might be considering it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he just didn't even consider having a dad.
Exactly. Now, I will tell you this. I'm going to stick to my standard, and I'm going to stick to the standard that I applied to Robin's mom. Okay?
That's fair.
There are very few instances in parenting that justify abandoning your children.
You don't say.
Aww. Is Mama teasing you with that? She keeps waving it in front of you. There you go.
There you go. You keep spitting it out.
Yeah,
that's what
he does. We need to dip it in bourbon. That's what we need to do. Give me that thing. Give me that thing. Where was I? So I'm not forgiving Dragon, but I was really happy to see that reveal. That was a very good reveal. I like that. We find out Iva's an officer in Dragon's Revolutionary Guard. That's kind of cool. It's kind of entertaining. If he's an officer in the Revolutionary Guard, I'm curious how high up. I mean, compared to the power structure of the admirals and Whitebeard and everything we've been talking about, the emperors, where is Dragon? So that's a big question.
That is a good question. That is a good question. His epithet is the world. It's usually either the world's most wanted or the world's most dangerous criminal. That is usually how he is titled.
But criminal defined by who?
The world government.
Which everything that they do now is in question.
Exactly.
They are so completely amoral.
Yes.
Not immoral.
It also helps, actually, retroactively. It kind of helps. Not trying to change your mind on it. It does help Robin's Nico Olivia get put into a slightly different... You start to question. Your question was, that has to be some hell of a true history to abandon your kid for. Well, if the world government wants it hidden, and they're this harsh on average criminals, what are they trying to hide? What are they going to this effort to Buster call an island over?
Yes.
What are they? What skeletons are in their closet? That's the big question.
That is a big question.
That is the big question at this point.
I'm assuming O'Hara will be explained in the future.
O'Hara is brought up a lot in the future. it's relevant.
Okay.
It's relevant. Right. It was too big at the time to be a one-off backstory.
So
it's too crucial of a moment.
Yeah.
It does come back. I won't tell you how. But
well, yeah, please don't. Yeah. They'd kill you.
I know.
Right. Luffy says with total and complete, just like, okay, this is the next thing to do. I'll go to Navy headquarters. Iva's reaction to that was really interesting. She said, "This feeling, I've experienced it before." He, I don't know what to call it.
They.
Pronoun screwed with this character. It's the same thing I
See
felt.
why I used names?
Yeah.
It's just easier.
He says it's the same thing I felt with Dragon. So now you doubled down on the family connection there, which is really kind of cool. I love how Iva calls Crocodile Croc Boy. And there's a Luffy-ness to that. There's a shared cheekiness about how they refer to people.
So I'm gonna do it now. Okay.
Look at that look. Look at that look.
You ready for... It's technically two theories. Based on... The foundation is one. So there's a theory. Because when they first run into Crocodile...
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yes, go for it.
No.
Okay. There's a theory.
Wait. Does this go to my family tree question?
Okay, so there's two theories.
All right.
The first one. This is the one that I can buy into.
Okay.
This is the one that I can buy into. And recently we got a little bit of potential evidence for it. It's time. It is time. It is time to break into this. So, when they first run into Crocodile, Ivankov says, or Crocodile is really like standoffish about Ivankov being there.
Right.
Crocodile's like, "Oh, great, you're here," type attitude. And when Luffy's like, "I don't know if we should let him out," and Ivankov's like, "Oh no, don't worry, I know one of his weaknesses." Now, depending on your translation, the wording is different, but it is not necessary. Sometimes it's secret. Sometimes I know his secret, or I know his secret weakness, or I know his weakness.
Okay.
So, the first theory that stemmed from that line of dialogue, and potentially the Crocoboy situation, is that Crocodile was originally a woman and was changed by Ivankov. And that is why Ivankov says what he says. That's the first theory.
I never would have thought of that, and I missed I know his weakness. It didn't. No, I trust you. I believe you.
So, hold on, because that's the one that we can buy. That's the one that I can buy, because in the live action, they show glimpses of a lot of characters at Roger's execution. Like, they show a young Smoker, they show I believe a young Mihawk.
They do.
They show a lot. They show, and I don't think you were aware of Crocodile at the time, but they show a shot of a character from behind with the hairstyle of Crocodile and the coat of Crocodile. But this figure is a lot more slender. So, potentially, people jumped on that. Here's the part of the theory that goes insane. Here's the part of the theory that goes insane. And all I need to say is this. It's called the Crocomom theory. And it's taking that original theory, that Crocodile was originally a woman, and saying that secretly Crocodile is Luffy's mom. And either doesn't know it or is hiding it. That is the theory.
That's ridiculous.
Welcome to the ridiculousness of the fan theory world.
That's not what I was thinking.
Okay, what were you thinking? Ivankov?
As Luffy's mom.
I've also heard that, I think, but I don't think there's enough of a reaction for that to be the case. But
enough of a reaction from
Ivankov seeing Luffy. I would assume that if you had a child and gave that child up, and you hear this person say, I am this person's son, if you had a child with them, that you would have a stronger reaction of oh my god.
I would have made the exact same response if the positions were reversed.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that thinking 100%.
Yep.
But it was like one of those flash ideas that could be so
crazy that it's plausible. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But because there's a sassiness there. There's a disregard for people there.
Yes.
Right? That is a characteristic that is so similar.
Yes.
Now, if there was a... Well, you know what? If it's not that crazy. If they're in the same army and they have the same cause and they turned him over to Garp for the same reason... There might be
It's not the craziest theory. It's not as crazy as Crocomom theory.
No,
I hate Croco. I just knew I needed.
Crocomom is stupid.
I needed to make that. I needed to make you aware of that.
If I've just aggravated
that was so
you,
funny.
I don't care. But
I will say the original theory of that, of Ivankov potentially having changed Crocodile.
I can see that.
That has some merit and potential to it. I am not dismissing it outright. I'm not also saying I subscribe to it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just going to tuck that idea in the back of my mind and just let it stay there. My last couple of notes here. Jimbei says, please take me with you. I can be of great help to you. I was thrown in here because I opposed the war, which is really great. Luffy pounding Blackbeard. So satisfying. Luffy, I just made a connection here. I'm curious if people can see when that spark fires.
We can.
As I'm sitting here. Luffy pounds Blackbeard as casually, almost as a second thought, as he did the Panther Executioner and other characters that he meets.
Right. Much like his words, if it goes through his mind, it's usually coming out.
Right. Yeah, and so he just does it. It was so extremely satisfying. Now, he clearly didn't just defeat him forever. That would be a waste of a character. But if he can do that, and then we see what Blackbeard did to Ace, and we know that Ace was offered one of the Warlords of the Sea, and we're talking about all those power rankings there, that really takes Luffy and just catapults him up in the power scale.
Ish. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Very satisfying. We talked about Jimbei controlling Luffy. He says, control your temper. And that's where I wrote on here, he'll be a great counselor on the Thousand Sunny. That was, it. And so we have this team. Iva, Buggy, Crocodile, Jimbei, Luffy, Mr. 3, Bon Clay, number 1. We've just got...
I'm not Bon Clay anymore.
Well, Bon Clay stay with Iva?
Bon Clay stayed at Impel Down.
Impel Down. Did I miss that? I must have missed it.
Did you miss that? Oh my god, it's one of the reasons people love him even more. He stays behind to face off against Magellan. He's the reason they got the gate open.
Oh, that's right, because he was, it took me a while, he was impersonating one of the...
He was impersonating Magellan.
He was
impersonating Magellan.
Because the first time I read that, I was like, wait a minute, this character
it's because it's revealed in retrospect.
And then when I figured it all out, I was like, oh my god, I forgot he had that power. The problem was I forgot he had that power.
Oh yeah. Well, he used it a few times, but there's so much going on. He used it as Nami to get the other... the Vice Warden.
Yes.
Which was really funny.
Yeah, that
was really funny. But... yeah, he stayed behind. He sacrificed himself again.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Everyone was very sad when he did that. We're all like, no!
He'll be back.
You should have come with!
He'll be back. He'll be back. He's got to be back. He's too good of a character not to. And that I would say that without knowing, because you've said just wait, there's more in the future. But
well, then when I said there's more of Bon Clay, this is what I was talking about.
Oh, this is what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Do we not get him back after this? Oh, what a shame that would be. What a tragedy that would be if we don't get him back after that. I'll just say that right here and now. I want more Bon Clay. And anybody who watched Alabasta would never have thought that I would say that right there.
After the Alabasta video, they just received whiplash.
So,
oh man, I love this section of story so much. Oh man, do I love this section of story.
So what haven't, Impel Downish, and I know we crossed the line into Marineford a little bit. From your notes,
oh man,
what haven't I...
Okay. Well, if we're doing this, I'm gonna rewind a little bit to Amazon Lily.
Okay.
Just a wee bit. Because you were a little... We kind of glossed over Amazon Lily in the last one and this one. And for a reason, obviously, Impel Down has just so much more going on. Amazon Lily is this little tiny side adventure that gets Luffy to Impel Down.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know. There's not a lot of depth to it.
You get a little bit of development, you get a little bit of character, you get a little bit of catching Luffy up to what is going on.
Right.
And it does the double effect of making sure Oda doesn't have to write an arc revolving around one of the 7 warlords that Luffy has to defeat. Which is great.
Yeah, actually,
it knocks the number of warlords down to 5 that Luffy would have to face off against, because he's already fought 2.
Did Kuma know everything that was going down and send Luffy there on purpose because it would get him to the point of being able to save Ace? Because I've said from the beginning, Garp's up to something and he's using Kuma.
You ask the right questions.
Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but if I didn't get that one out, I would have lost it. That
is a great question.
Okay.
All right, yep.
All right.
Yeah, your questions are almost always the right ones.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're all good. Are you kidding? You can interrupt me all you want. So if we go back to Amazon Lily,
yes,
we get introduced to Boa, and the thing about Boa on the reread is that there's a reason she was introduced after Sabaody, and that's because in Sabaody we start to really, like I said, we start to peel back the curtain a little bit.
Okay. And
we see in Boa someone who has seen the worst.
Right.
And survived it.
Right.
But, and here's the phrase, that's going to be my key phrase, is hurt people hurt people.
Right.
Right?
Right. She's still there.
Boa is that person.
Yes.
She is a hurt person who still hurts people.
Yes.
Because she is insecure. She has had her security, her confidence in herself taken. Mm-hmm. And she is still fighting to reclaim it. Personally.
She hasn't gained her voice.
She has not gained her voice. She has gained a facsimile, if I'm using that word correctly.
A facsimile, a false front. A
facsimile of confidence.
Right.
Because she has a fruit and a beauty that allows her to basically get away with anything. But it can't... All the beauty, all the power in the world can't save her from that which haunts her. And I think that's an important thing to see after Sabaody, because we see people taken as slaves. We see people freed from that. But we see how deep the corruption not only runs, but it affects people. It's affecting someone in such a high seat of power that the world government overlooks her crimes. It still affects her. So it really works to establish this. Now, that's not to say that she is the deepest character at this point in the story. I think that I do still stand by the fact that we get a little more after the fact, but on the reread, it's a little. She's a little more sympathetic.
Yeah.
Once you have a little bit of that when you're reading with that in mind, which I was at this point.
Right.
But again, it's the hurt people, and this is where I'm going to tie it back to Arlong.
Sure.
Right? Hurt people. How many have we seen? How many are we going to see?
You know, when Arlong was presented with this, I wonder, when Arlong Park was written and drawn, did Oda have a sense that he was going to explore human slavery and trafficking deeper into the story?
I think he did, because he had mentioned Jimbei in Arlong Park.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. He mentioned Jimbei all the way back.
Now I gotta go back and check that.
He did. It said that he said Arlong was once a subordinate of one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Jimbei.
Oh, you know what? Okay,
we discussed it.
We discussed that.
I
remember that. Okay.
Yeah. A couple times we discussed it. I didn't mention it when we were in Arlong Park, I don't believe. Just because I was like, if he didn't notice this, I'm not going to bring it up. Because I knew you had a semblance of remembering Jimbei as a crew member. So I didn't want to...
50 chapters. There's so much to track and remember.
Yes.
So... Yeah.
Don't worry, that's why.
Arlong was very two-dimensional, cardboard cutout villain.
Yes.
This makes it sympathetic.
Yes.
This makes you at least understand, not excuse.
No,
but understand. But he hadn't dealt with his anger either.
Exactly. That's one of the things that is really interesting about how Oda, writes it, is that it very much does, and it's really smart, because the reason why I think a lot of people would have a hard time even considering forgiving Arlong is because of what he did to Nami. And I think it's very important that was established early on. Part of the reason we hate
people are
Arlong,
asking the wrong question.
You can't make Arlong a sympathetic character because he hurt one of the people that one of the characters that we have been following from the beginning. And
I think we talked about this a long, long time ago, because this is ringing a bell, because I think I asked the same question in Arlong Park, or made the same observation that I'm about to make right now.
Yeah.
The question isn't, can we forgive Arlong?
Can Nami? We asked that about Hachin in Sabaody.
We did. Yeah.
But do not question the extent to which readers will forgive a deplorable character in any media. That is a long-running debate, and when we get to Freerun, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But my point being, actually, in terms of how it played out, whether it was intentional or not, it was kind of brilliant on his part, because I have never seen anyone in my life defend Arlong's action. I have seen people explore in this way. Oh, I understand why Arlong did what he did. I understand what turned him into what he is. But that doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. And part of that is because we saw what he did to Nami. What he took out on Nami and her village.
Yes.
All right? And especially now that we see Jimbei. Now we have a question about Jimbei. Because based on what we're seeing, one, Jimbei could have stopped Arlong at any time. What's going on there? Because Arlong was one of his subordinates. Now we have a question about Jimbei. That's a fun one. Also, where was Arlong? He was supposed to be in Impel Down too. I think it's mentioned that he was thrown in Impel Down.
Yes, it was.
I think you asked if we were going to meet Arlong in Impel Down.
I might have.
You definitely were hoping we were going to go to Impel Down, and I just didn't want to. spoil that when you were talking about Tom.
Still wanted to see Tom.
I
mean, I still wanted to see Tom. I wanted to see a mention of Tom. I wanted something. Every time we kept going to a different level of Impel Down, I was thinking, maybe this is the level. And I can see where we didn't, and I can see why we didn't, but it was still just disappointing because he was just such a nice guy.
But I mean, my point being, when we get into this deeper, darker underbelly of the world of One Piece, and it starts to kind of, in retrospect, explain people. It's kind of brilliant that it doesn't make Arlong sympathetic. It makes you understand him.
Yes.
You know, that's just, I enjoy that as writing. He had the opportunity to do that. And again, we also get to see Boa, who is not necessarily a good person. She's definitely not that evil, though. She's not enslaving people, but she's definitely willing to murder people for petty reasons.
She's the way she abuses animals.
Yes.
Right. How quickly she turns Marguerite and crew to stone.
Yep.
You know, how hard... how her sisters try to use those stone figures against Luffy, and how hard Luffy
her
works
sisters
to
were
save
no better.
them. You know,
her sisters were no better.
But
they mention, and this is the line that kind of, I was like, when in the reread was like, oh, that explains. She was taken at 12.
Mm-hmm.
She was branded. She was a slave.
Mm-hmm.
We get the backstory. She was forced to eat the fruit, as were her sisters were forced to eat theirs. And the line that got me in mine was, it was the first time I had ever seen a man, and it's the silhouette of the dude with the branding iron, and that just went, oh, yeah, that explains.
Yeah.
That explains.
Yeah.
So much, and it's your big thing about characters was everyone seems so two-dimensional. The villains especially, but now we're starting to get a little bit... We at least understand the characters.
I didn't appreciate that when I read it. I'll be totally honest with you.
And that's a first-read type thing.
It's not only is it a first-read type thing, but I so regret the amount of distractions to my reading that I have right now.
It's okay, that's why I'm here.
But
because I can catch these things.
You know,
easier. It's easier for me to catch these things, and it's what's great about the comments because you guys are going to fill in the things that I forget.
And well, so you know, I've always said read once for pleasure, read a second time for study. I'm not able to read a second time for study right now, and so I think I'm actually going to change the way I read One Piece for the short term. I think I'm going to start taking notes as I go.
Read Marine for that way at least, because.
Because
you'll have fun reading it. Really have fun reading it.
It's because normally I would have caught that point and I didn't.
Yeah, no, that was one of the big ones that stood out, and it makes this such a tough character because on one hand you're like, oh, okay, I understand a little bit, but also you're a bitch, but. It also helps make Luffy better, because there's a man on her island where she's supposed to have complete control, and he is ripping that control from her again, because he is upsetting the status quo. He is reverting all of their viewpoints on what a man is.
But he's not...
And he's not doing it maliciously, he's not doing it intentionally,
Right.
He's just Luffy being Luffy.
Right.
And of course, now they all think that men stretch and have a mushroom and
upends the apple cart.
Yeah, stretching mushroom and family jewels, I think is what was said in the anime.
Hey, baby, it's a One Piece anime convention pickup line. Can I show you my stretchy mushroom?
Security! But he upends it, and he does the one
Mama
thing.
Peaches is throwing things at the TV right now.
Here was what I wrote on Luffy and Boa, and that is Luffy, at least at the start, actually dislikes Boa a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why Boa eventually starts to fall for him. because it's compounding the whole thing. Like, the big and obvious joke is that he just doesn't find her attractive. Because Luffy's not interested in that sort of thing.
Right.
And we've seen that plenty. You see I hope there's food.
Right.
That's not meat. Why are you naked? Where your clothes at? But the other, it's not just that. It's not just that, oh, it's the first time the obvious joke being the heart wants what it can't have, right? But it's more than that. It's Luffy doesn't see her as an object. Everyone else does. Even her, like, subordinates. They all look at her for the beauty, and that's what allows her to get away with everything. Luffy sees through that and sees her for the cruelty that she displays.
And it has to be intentional that she's not drawn to be the attractive beauty. She has qualities of typical physical beauty.
Yes.
But she doesn't catch the eye like other female characters do.
Well, I think, to be fair, she does suffer from Nami clone syndrome a little bit. There's a little bit in the face structure and the body type, but honestly, I mean, it's really, she's up there in terms of people's favorites. But I mean, Nami and Robin are too. So
on the beauty scale,
yeah.
I would never put Boa up there.
Part of the reason is if you see the nastiness when she's introduced. I think if you're like Luffy and you see through that and you look past Oda trying to draw the most beautiful woman in the world, which is her epithet.
Right.
You notice that, and that's the reason why Boa starts to really have love sickness for Luffy, is because Luffy doesn't see her as an object to be pulled.
Right.
He sees her as the person she is.
Right.
And it's probably one of the first times in her life anyone has looked past that. Maybe Gloriosa
called her out on her behavior. I mean, he very definitely...
He did. Even Gloriosa was falling for it a little bit. Oh, she's so gorgeous.
Right.
You know? Even the Marine had to stab himself.
Yes.
And that's willpower, but that still implies that he needed to cause himself pain to not fall for her charm. Yes. And so even he would have succumbed to the same thing all his men did had he not been aware of it and smart enough to work around it. So, I mean, that's... I felt that was interesting of Boa, that once I started reading into it a little bit, that probably one of the reasons that she so hard falls for Luffy is that you have a person now who doesn't see her for the superficial, truly doesn't, has no interest in that, and it's not just, oh, I want what is not the one who's not interested in me, it's the person who actually sees the human.
Yes.
Which I thought was a very interesting, I just found that very interesting as I was reading. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I right? But, yeah. We started getting a lot more. Second note was start getting a lot more Haki.
Yes.
Start seeing a lot more of it. It's on full display in the arena. Kind of. We start seeing more of it. They're implying. So, the sisters are fighting, and Luffy's like, oh, they can sense my attacks before they come. And, oh, I hit her, but, oh, my arm feels weird. You know? So, okay, just fine. You remember when it was first mentioned, you mentioned this a couple of videos ago, there's 3 types of Haki?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember the 3 types of Haki.
I'll just lay them out, because I don't remember how they're presented. There's observation, armament, and what is called conquerors. Okay. So there's 3 different types. There's observation, armament, and conquerors is what it is. And that's pretty much all that we know about it at this point in time, other than the color of the Supreme King. That's Conqueror's Haki. Yeah. That's the one that's...
I would imagine Luffy was a Conqueror Haki just from those 3 descriptions because of what he has to overcome to get his goal.
That perfect observation at this
Yeah,
point in the
yeah.
story. Perfect observation at this
Now,
point in the story.
Can you have more than one? Can you have 3 different types of Haki? Can you have 2 of the 3? Does it take getting all 3 to become? Do you have to have all 3 to get the One Piece? Do you have to?
I'm not answering this question. I plead the 5th. I plead the 5th.
You just hate it when I do that, don't you?
I do. I really do.
And now you know why sometimes he just gives me the answer.
Luffy shows an innate understanding. Once again, shows his innate understanding of people with Boa and her sisters.
Yep.
I mean, Luffy just showing what type of person he is. With whatever's on your back has nothing to do with our fight.
Yes. He says,
Obviously.
I recognize that.
He does, and then he goes in and Boa shows him her brand, and he goes, "Oh, that's not what I thought it was. I thought it was what was on Hachin's forehead."
Right.
And she explains that essentially it's a double brand.
Right.
That
I remember that whole thing.
Fisher Tiger was a fisherman who climbed the wall, freed the slaves, and they covered their brands with the sun pirate.
Right.
They called it with a sun.
Right.
Which is an important Muscatool that we will save for later.
Muscatool.
It is an important Muscatool that we will save for later. Just keep that in mind. I don't remember. One of the things said that Fisher Tiger called his guys the Sun Pirates, and then another one called just the Fisherman Pirates, or I can't even remember. Someone please explain in the comments, because I can't remember off the top of my head if his were always the Fishmen, or if they were the Sun Pirates first and then split off into the Fisherman Pirates. I don't remember off the top of my head. But, do you have any pictures of Jimbei by chance on your phone?
Not on my phone, no. But Jimbei was.
Let me see a photo of Jimbei from this section of story. I'm just curious because otherwise I'll point something out. If I'm right, he is very upset. We might skip forward.
You want to pause and
let's take a break here real quick.
It's
like 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I got more to talk about. And we're back, and he's making his third, technically, official appearance. And we are going to be a lot more quiet now. But we figured this was better than having him potentially screaming in the background. I don't know where we're at.
You were looking for a picture of Jimbei.
I was looking for a picture of Jimbei, which is going to be a little farther than where we are here. Oh, that's a good photo. Let's see. There's Crocodile.
Here's Jimbei's introduction. It's the end of the
That's Jimbei's. Oh man, the detail is there. That's not what I'm looking for, though. So,
in my multi-volume, it's the end of the Saba Odi book. It's really cool.
it is a really cool. There's one of the details that I'm looking for, but I don't know if it is visible. I don't think it's visible. Oh no, it is. It's partially there. So you would not have noticed this, but if you look very closely at his chest, there's something there.
Is that one of the...
So you can't see the entire thing, but it is...
Is he branded?
That is the same mark that Hachin has on his forehead, but it's there, and you could deduce that. So I don't feel bad about pointing that out, but it is. Okay. It is that sun.
Gotcha.
All right, and that makes sense because...
Sure.
Same.
Sure.
They said Jimbei was Arlong's, and all that.
Yeah.
So...
Nice. Good catch.
Isn't it good? Isn't it good? Well, it becomes more obvious later on.
That is such a busy panel.
Oh, it is such a busy panel. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It was fun.
Is this really our 30th?
It's somewhere in there. Let's see. How many are in? No DM archive. We're not doing you. We're not watching you today. YouTube keeps changing up the freaking layout of all the buttons. I hate it. Let's see. Our playlist for...
You know, I said that our One Piece playlist was 30.
There's 30 exactly.
Wow.
In this. When this gets uploaded, it'll be the 31st. And that's not including some of the one-offs.
Wow.
That's not including... Amazing. That's just your... That is just amazing. Your One Piece journey. That's from Millennial Attempts to Explain all the way down to technically the Season 2 trailer reaction.
Gotcha.
We have done 30 videos in One Piece. They mentioned that Luffy punched the Celestial Dragon, which also got him brownie points with Boa. I already talked about her being 12. The pirates. You can really tell, because I'm still on Boa and Amazon Lily, that when you come back and you reread it, you can really tell that Boa is on guard and is not allowing herself to relax. She's very afraid to let her guard down. And all of a sudden, she's kind of has to with Luffy. I don't know, it's weird. I guess she doesn't have to, but she decides to. Because he kind of barges in and kind of breaks all her preconceptions. Which is such a great moment because, you get her thought bubbles when she forces Luffy into the choice. She's like, you want a ship? You want to get out of here? Okay, fine. How about this? I'll give you the choice. You can either unpetrify them or you can leave. And then she's like, show me your true colors, man. I know how you are. I know what you'll choose. And he goes, oh, thank you. And bows to her and says, thank you. So you'll unpetrify them, right? And that breaks everything. And all of a sudden, this reality that she has, all her conceptions, all her view just shatters. And again, this is where this section of story really gives Luffy... We really get to see Luffy as Luffy. And we get to see how far he's come. And we get to see more of his individual personality shine. When it's not stand out among the crew. Right? Because we're so used to watching Luffy carry the team through a lot of this. But we're also seeing Luffy in a situation where he can't carry the team. Because he's just outclassed. So he needs to use what he's learned. He's learned humility from Vivi, and when to say thank you, and when to say please. And he doesn't even stop to consider it. He's like, no, yes, please, unpetrify them. Doesn't even consider that that's throwing away his chance at a boat.
He doesn't even appear to struggle with the idea.
He doesn't struggle with the idea, and nor is it one of those, catch-22 gotcha situations where he's like, oh, if I say this, she'll give me the boat as well. I think a lot of people would stop and think about that and go, well, I should do this because it's going to make me look better. He's just so blunt and honest because that's just who he is. So, and this is why that's why I say this section of story is a great Luffy showcase. And really, for me, when I was going through this the first time, this is the first time I latched onto Luffy as a character. Because up until this point, I was more interested in the Zoros and the Sanjis and the Namis and all the other characters.
So this was the point that caught your attention?
This is the point that Luffy caught my attention. Because I always thought Luffy was fun. And I really enjoyed Luffy as a character. But I found him a little stagnant. But this is the point where I went, okay, this is where he's diving into the character and really going through it. My next note was Boa falling head over heels for Luffy will never not be funny.
Exactly.
It is so funny. It is a great gag.
She looks like a schoolgirl crush.
It is exactly what it is. The entire section of the entire Amazon Lily section is 10 times funnier on a reread. Just because. Because it's coming and it's great when it does and you start laughing. Because you're like, oh no, she's sick. Oh no, she's fallen ill. And you're like, it's also even funnier with where we are currently at in the story. They're for reasons I can't even begin to get into, because I would be that dude with the red strings. I think it's Charlie from Always Sunny. Listen. Trying to explain it. It'd be insane for me to even approach that. I could rattle off a list of spoilers and you wouldn't even know what to make of any of it. It's insane. I liked, during the section of Amazon, we do get the quick glimpses of the Straw Hats arriving. Brooke landing and them knowing, oh, Satan, what can we do to keep you here? What, Dark Lord, how can we, do you need a sacrifice? He's like, man, I see your panties. And they're like, panties, show him. Jeez.
He is pervy. Delightfully pervy.
We got 3 different ones on the crew. But we also get a really cool montage of a lot of the Marines we've met shipping off to Marineford, like getting recalled.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh. And now we think, like, scale. Think about Smoker and Tashigi. They were all the way back pre and post Alabasta. Like, where are they at this point in the story? Like, what have they been up to, and what are they going to look like in this entire situation?
You know, based on, I've always said that I've liked the character of Tashigi. Based on our conversation earlier about what we find out about the world government, I would love to see what happens to her character.
Also, if we're talking about comparisons and scale, this is just funny. We get a picture of all the warlords at a banquet table eating. And it's really funny because we get a line of Marines who are all assumedly normal size, and then all the rest of them are just huge. You got cool. And then right at the end, feet kicked up on the table without a care in the world. It's just Mihawk going.
That is a man who is perpetually bored with life and disinterested. Yes.
As I go through my notes, I mentioned this earlier when I was getting really into my big outburst that I can't get into again now. I love you, son. I really love Buggy's reintroduction as a character. It is such a good reintroduction because they do the thing, like I said with Crocodile, they never took away Crocodile's threat. Crocodile is still a threat. He's just now on our side. Buggy, they kind of leveled him up a little bit. And you kind of have to with the scale of everyone else around him. He's still the blubbering idiot that he was. And we're starting to see him stumble his way into success off other people's work. But in the first half, he's fairly competent on his own, like flying. He's like, throw my feet at the ground. I can get us through the thorns. And you know, he's a backstabbing coward, but he's a lovable backstabbing coward because...
He reminds me of Long John Silver. In that...
From Treasure Island,
in that there's a lovable side to him, there's a dangerous side to him, there's a pirate side to him, it was cutthroat, and there's the question of which one of these sides of him is the real Buggy.
I love the continual gag of Luffy's like, hey, thanks for your help, and Buggy and Mr. 3 are like, oh, why is he so nice?
That is pretty funny.
It's a great way of taking what were kind of gag characters and giving them a little more agency. And again, Mr. 3 is in that same vein where he gets reintroduced and he's valuable. Like he's helpful. Like his wax fruit comes in clutch. It's making keys and blocking poison. And he took 2 characters that are kind of written off as jokes, probably, and brought them back and just gave them new life, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun to read. I love it. And this is why Buggy is also a fan favorite character. Because
Gotcha.
this section of story, and we start to get we see more of him, and he's like, Ace and I were drinking buddies. You know, he's like, oh, you're here to save Ace. I'm still gonna backstab you. But, you know, I liked Ace. Say hi to him for me. You know, he didn't immediately try to, like, kill Luffy. I mean, he knew he wasn't gonna win that, but he also wasn't actively trying to harm Luffy. He was like, he's gonna be bait so I can escape.
Yes.
I've seen what this kid is capable of, and I don't think he's going to survive. And I know I'm not going to survive, but if he's doing this, this is my chance. So
Yes.
he's not actively trying to, like, kill him or anything, but he's being a little bitch. It's a lot of fun. I love his reintroduction. It's great. I already said Impel Down is not a prison, it's a torture chamber, which again,
Right.
just peeling that curtain back even farther. It's like, because these guys are just, some of these guys are just run-of-the-mill pirates, and we see what the base top level of this prison is like.
You know,
It's like, if that's what you're throwing essentially common criminals, and we get an interesting spiel later, but I mean, we get more look into Garp. You have that conversation with Ace, which is a great conversation. And we also get his conversation with Sengoku, which is almost the flip. So we have this two weird sides of Garp. He's telling Ace, I had hopes for you and Luffy, and look what you both ended up. You're criminals. This is what you did. You know, he's like, you know, this is your doing. I tried to raise you to be upstanding Marines and citizens, and you two became this. You two decided to be pirates, to be criminals. But then he's in his office, and Sengoku's like, Garp, your family's at it again. Your son, your grandson has broken in. It's like, it's that damn family again. And Garp is just sitting there crunching on little crackers, and he's proud.
Yes, he is.
He's proud of his grandson. What is this split? That's what
I think he's proud of his grandsons. I think he's proud of. I think he's as proud of Ace as he is Luffy. I really do. That's so funny to read when you see him very clearly proud.
Proud
of
Luffy, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's my boy.
That's my grandson. And Sengoku's like, if you weren't the hero of the Marines, I would have you thrown in there too.
Well, you know,
that's a big title to have too.
No, but that was a very telling line. When I read that line, I didn't write it down. I didn't make a note about it. When I read that line, I said, what has Garp done to deserve to be thrown in? If he can be thrown into prison simply because Luffy is his grandson, what does that say about Sengoku, the Marines, and the world government? It doesn't say a lot at all. That is the most.
Doesn't say anything good.
It's the most authoritarian dictatorship mentality, which really doesn't say a lot about Sengoku either. So, you know, this conversation tonight has kind of cemented in my mind something that I've been hinting at, that I've mentioned. I had complained at the end of Water 7 that I wanted to see them go to Ennie's lobby. I wanted to see Ennie's lobby. I wanted to see Impel Down get the Ennie's lobby treatment. Now we've gone to Ennie's lobby, and Ennie's lobby did not get the.
You mean
I'm sorry. Let me go back.
Tongue-tied.
I'm tongue-tied. We went back to Impel Down, and it did not get the Ennie's lobby treatment.
Not on the same level.
Not on the same level. But I did ask a long time ago, does Luffy go to Marineford? Does he go to the world government? Do they get that level of treatment? And now, more than ever, you see why it needs to be done.
Yes.
And it's comments like Sengoku's to Garp that show you, yes, it needs to be done.
And he's saying that to someone who again, I'm going to point that line out. He has a title.
The hero.
He has an
right.
epithet.
Right.
If that's the only thing, and that asks a question, what did Garp do to get that title? And why does that title outweigh anything that he might have done?
Well, that's interesting because it begs the thing, what did he do if he did something wrong, number one, and number two, I thought the Garp's weakness, we talked about this, was that since Roger was terminally ill and he turned himself in, was he given a title that he didn't deserve?
That is a good question.
And I asked that question a while ago, and that comes back. That's a potential weakness there. And so, the big question then for me, the answer to this. I don't. The answer to this is, do we find out? Do we get more of Garp's backstory? I don't know how necessary it is at this point. But the curiosity side of me says, I'd love to know more about that because I like the Garp character. And by the way,
a lot of people like the Garp character.
I loved cosplaying Garp. I absolutely loved. So,
do that.
Of all, okay, I haven't dressed up for Halloween in forever. It's been decades. I had so much fun. It felt so natural. Slipping into Garp just felt like putting on your favorite pair of well-worn shoes, It was comfortable. It was me.
It's going to be a hit at convention when we inevitably take it for the video.
Which
is a video that is coming.
I just absolutely loved that.
Later this year.
I'm going, if we do the Garp, because we're still, in negotiation. If we do it.
I just don't want to do Dragon. I just don't want to shave.
I'm gonna get my hair and my beard professionally colored.
There you go.
I will be gray for a while after that, which will be hysterical in the classroom.
That'll be very teaching. Hysterical. Yeah. That'll be fun. But yeah, I mean that's the thing about it's those little lines, it's those little one-off sentences.
Yes.
It's like, and one of the things I think, maybe I'm out of line for saying it this way, there is something to be said about the voice acting changing an entire scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it's this one. I think it's that scene, but the way some of the actors portray Sengoku's line sounds more exacerbated. Like annoyed rather than like actually like reprimanding Garp.
Okay.
It's more like, damn it, Garp, it's your family again. Why is your grandson doing this? And there's more like.
So it's not the threat
if I'm remembering how the lines were delivered, and if I'm even remembering the correct scene, I'm pretty sure I am. Some of the delivery is different, but that's the thing about the way the scene is portrayed. It could be either way. I mean, Sengoku is so animated in how he's grabbing and shaking Garp, which, I mean, we've seen Garp. We know that he can. We've seen Garp's like cannonball. We've seen the big freaking cannon. Yeah. We know Garp has a level of power. We know that he is there for a reason. So to shake that, there's so many questions that get brought up when you get a scene like that.
Sengoku's artwork is reminiscent of the Western view of Imperial admirals in old World War II movies. I'm treading this line very carefully because
the caricature.
You could take the one-piece Marine costume off him and put an Imperial Navy costume on him from World War II, and he would look perfectly at home. And so that leads to the image of a very strict, very rules-bound type of a person. Formality is everything, and respect is everything, and anything that violates that is not acceptable. So that's a it's a very Western
Yeah.
view of the character, and so
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. I see my biases in my own observation.
That is fair. Yeah,
I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and that's
I'm
the
seeing
thing,
my
is
own
that
biases.
the artwork kind of leaves it up to interpretation, I think,
Right.
because that could just be an old friend reprimanding because he's annoyed.
Sure.
It could also be a superior who is pissed.
Right.
Either way, Garp doesn't give a
Either
way, Garp is just sitting there like, oh, my grandson broke into the world's most secure torture chamber.
Right. You know what? And well, the other thing is that the basis for the artwork of Sengoku, the face and everything, it could be Oda's favorite kebab stand owner down on the corner, and you know.
That is the funny thing about Oda. He could immortalize anyone. Let's see, I love Luffy's reaction to meeting with Bon Clay again. I already mentioned that. I already mentioned we get a brief mention of Shanks heading to intercept Kaido, which is just huge. That is just a huge thing going on in the background. To hear that, that's woof. I already talked about peeling back the curtain, but this section of my notes is where I said we have to start questioning the morals of the people who work for the world government in any capacity, especially those at a high enough position to know the horrors it inflicts. I think we have to start questioning that. You know, we got to start questioning the warlords. We have to start questioning the admirals and the vice admirals, and we need to, you have to start asking these questions when you get to this point in the story, which is a great bit of plot development for a story like this. It's a necessary bit if you're going to develop the world government in this way, but it adds a little nuance, adds the potential for nuance within, because any one of those characters could have a reason for being there, whether they agree with the methodology or not. That there's so much conflict of interest and conflict of morals there, and that's why your questions on what is a pirate extend into what is justice, because justice is emblazoned on the back of every Navy coat. But every admiral and vice admiral and captain that we've met has a different sense of justice. One, even if it's something as simple as lazy justice.
Yes.
They all do.
Yes.
That makes this section of story really fun
Lazy
as we
justice.
get. It's great, isn't it? But it's just the scope. We talked about scale of power, but
Right.
like the scope of the story, the questions, the morals, the dilemmas that get brought up here are great. I love this section of the story.
And suggested and implied.
Suggested, implied, inferred, because everyone's going to have their own different thing,
The beautiful thing
Everyone
about
has
this, depending on how much pre-writing he did when he did this, it leaves him as a writer and an artist the freedom to go off in different directions if he chose to. Yeah, you know which direction he went. You guys know. I'm just thinking that, knowing what I know now, the future is still wide open.
Yeah. Well, and now it makes you go back and realize, the world government, it was almost implied when you first get through Alabasta that Crocodile was doing this under the nose of the government, and they had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, there was enough leeway with the government that you could assume that he was doing this under their nose, and they had no idea. But you get to this section of story, and you realize, they probably knew, and they probably didn't give a
Yeah.
They probably were ready to let Alabasta, a independent kingdom, just fall. A member nation, I should say. That was a member of the world government, just fall because they couldn't be bothered to rein in one of their dogs. Which also makes you question the world government if they're willing to hire these criminals and basically give them... the warlords are very reminiscent of privateers.
I've been Yeah, they are. I've been questioning that since we got introduced to them. I have
So much. There's so much in this story. I love it. I love it. Oh. We can see how well Luffy can make friends from enemies, even if it is only for a temporary alliance. We also, even more so, see how far Luffy will go for the ones he cares about. Because obviously we get glimpses of this all the way through the story so far. I mean, what will he do for someone who fed him? How far did he go for Robin, for Nami, for all of them? But like, you know, the whole thing, you know, before you get to the big reveal that you got to, that they're not blood brothers, they're not biologically brothers. You know, up to this point, this is like a huge step up, because at that point we still are under the impression that Ace could be his biological brother.
Right.
Or a half-brother. I think a lot of people would have assumed that he was a half-brother. But they could... at this point, it's like, this is almost an insane step up to see like how what Luffy would go through for his Nakama, his found family, versus how much he's going through for his true family. I would say on a first read, that was probably one of the things that I would question. You could read it that way, because it is such a step up of like, yeah, Enies Lobby was a slog. Enies Lobby was a lot, and that was a big risk, declaring war on this world government, especially now that we see... It also puts that into perspective, because now we see what the world government's willing to do to anyone who stands against them. And it just makes the shooting of the flag even cooler. But, yeah, we just start to see even more how far he'll go. The former warden Shiryu, the former warden,
Yes.
is even worse than Magellan.
Yes.
Was killing prisoners, and all of a sudden...
For fun.
Yeah, for fun. And Magellan had a line. He is not a good person.
Right.
But he has a line that he's not crossing.
Yes.
And it's like, woof.
Killing prisoners for sport is the line he wouldn't cross.
Yes.
Yes.
And the fact that they freed him. What will this government do? Although you said you wanted to get the Enies Lobby treatment, and it didn't, because it didn't get ultimately, like, it did not crumble.
Right.
But it still was a defeat. And the narrator in the boxes says as much. This was a total and utter defeat for the world government. They failed. Failed to contain the break.
When they failed to stop him from breaking in,
yeah,
it was a fail.
To be fair, that was a surprisingly well executed plan for Luffy.
Yes, it was.
That was surprisingly well executed. How much of that was Boa? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Boa going out of her way to let Ace know that Luffy was there. She didn't have to do that.
No, she did not.
She didn't have to do that. But she knew how much. Obviously, she knew how much it would mean to Luffy, and how much it could mean to Ace. Although Ace was pissed. I understand that. How many times have you told your little sibling not to do something, and they turn around and do that? Been there.
How many times you tell your child not to do something, and they turn around and do that? In fact, I asked one of my children once, I said, you keep saying, I know, I know, I know. If you know, why do you keep doing it? And he said...
I don't remember this.
You
expect me to pay attention to things?
He said...
You expect me to pay attention to questions you asked me?
He said, to see if I could get away with it. And I wanted to kill him.
Fair. Got away with a lot. On not to keep retreading it, But this was an interesting thing. Hannibal, the Vice Warden, has a very interesting monologue about how Impel Down protects the common man. And the words I wrote were high off their own supply of the world government, but that is a fascinating look, and that just begs the question: is it propaganda? Is it brainwashing? Does he truly believe that? Was he was he manipulated into believing that? Did they sway him to that line of thinking, or did he come to here with this mindset already? It's like, but that shows you how we've been on this topic of like we have to start questioning everyone who's affiliated with them. That is an interesting look into it.
Are true believers in every movement.
Exactly, and Hannibal is one of them. No matter what the methodology was, he's one of them, and that is...
It's an interesting observation. It's not a character I would have picked out.
Well, he has a whole thing about, like, you don't understand the danger people like you pose. Pirates are villains and scum, and it's, there's part of it that sounds almost like Smoker.
This is the Sokovia Accords all over.
Sokovia, yeah.
Sokovia.
Yeah, the Avengers. But there's there's a bit of it that's almost Smoker-esque. You could hear Smoker saying something like, "We are the line that stands between this world and chaos." If you really think back to how Smoker views the Marines as a force of justice to protect the common man, because Smoker cares about the common man, but I doubt Hannibal would. If you put Hannibal in the ice cream situation, he would have smacked that girl.
Hannibal's not going to empower his subordinates to come up with their own sense of justice.
No.
Which means they're more different than they are alike.
No, but that was the interesting observation on my end, was that part of that speech of we are the line that stands between you and the common person, because you can inflict so much horror on the common person. He's speaking to Luffy, and it's like, you can almost hear a Smoker say that. You can almost hear a Garp type say that. You can almost hear them, but then he dives in, but you see what he's defending, and you're like, okay. You're like, okay.
So, I don't know why this popped into my mind while you were talking, and I may have asked this once before a long time ago, but have you ever stopped and wondered, where did the devil fruit come from? And then, who was the poor slob who ate the first devil fruit? Like, who's the poor slob who ate the first devil fruit, and what power did they get? Number one. Like, that's just a funny concept. And then, who's the poor slob who was the first person to have eaten a devil fruit and discovered they can't swim anymore?
You're asking the right questions.
Really?
People have been asking the origins of the devil fruits for years. That has been a big thing.
Wow. I mean, there's just
to be fair, there's some extra world elements that tie into that question that you're not quite there yet, but you will be in the not too distant future. But yeah. And pretty much the last thing out of my notes in that was of any worth was Bon Clay is the goat.
Yeah.
Bon Clay is the fucking goat. R.I.P.
Did you say R.I.P.?
No, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Don't do that to me.
Always keep them guessing. But we are introducing a new segment into the One Piece videos. You asked for them, and people delivered. Now this one's going to be rather big, because it is the first one. We're playing kind of catch up because it's kind of everything that's been up to this point.
Is this our first power panel?
This is our first power panel.
I did not know that was coming tonight.
So power panels.
Subdued power panels.
Subdued power panels, but Dad. As you were going through the artwork, you said send in I want to know some of your favorite panels that were like intense, strong, you know, kind of give off aura, but also are significant.
Sure.
And they did not disappoint. We have a lot. So there is a link to a Google form in the description. Feel free to submit any panel. The directions are pretty simple. You can give your name if you want to be shouted out. Some of you do, some of you don't. But the ones that are required is upload a photo of the panel in question and a description of why you like it and why you find it significant. And I am waiting on my computer to unfreeze a little bit so I can pull this. Oh, that was the button. Now it just hit the wrong button. But the link to that form is in the description below. Like I said, it can be from past or future. I will go through it before every video. I am compiling them into a document so that we can review them, and they will be flashed on screen. So thank you to everyone who submitted. If you have submitted but your panel is in the future, in a future chapter, I will be holding on to it until we get to the relevant video. So you were not overlooked or just not spoiling anything, because there are some really cool spoilers.
You are scheduled.
You are scheduled. Yes, you are on the wait list. I did have to delete the ones that are in the document from that question, though, because otherwise I'd have like 30 submissions to go through. So I'm pulling up the Power Panels document right now. It's Dad, don't read. Actually, both of them are labeled Dad, don't read. So the first one, if I can introduce from, and I am going to butcher everyone's YouTube tags, sorry, DJBS Jibs uploaded this one. There'll be flash Luffy pointing and at the saying the sky. This is after he beat Bellamy.
Okay.
And when asked why, quote, "This panel after the Bellamy fight shows Luffy being his strongest willed. Nothing can phase his love for his friends new and old. He won't let the dream of his new friend Mont Blanc Cricket be stolen away, taken by a pirate with no dream of his own." That is a great word. Also, I am going to read these as close to the original as I can. I do know that a lot of our audience is from all over the globe, so
any
imagine
English.
any English. Don't worry about it. If it's not your first, don't worry about it. I will make do. I'm not going to make fun of you for it.
I may be an English teacher, but I don't grade.
Toby Narco submitted. Oh, that's such a good one. It's Shanks on Whitebeard's ship.
Nice.
Boom. And then, quote, "If we are talking power panels, this is the one." And then says, "And we still don't know how powerful Shanks really is." Maybe a slight.
That's a good one.
That's fantastic. Just passing out around him.
Yep.
Foaming at the mouth. That's... Eidolon submitted a recent... Hey, how come you're naked? Where's the food?
That's hysterical.
And quote, "Jokes aside, this is perfectly Luffy. It's not just childish innocence that prevents him from ogling Boa. He respects her and knows that there must be some good reason for this situation. It perfectly leads into him actually managing to pay attention to Boa's story, a rarity for Luffy. But after seeing the cruelty of the Celestial Dragons firsthand, like a day ago, from his perspective, he knows this stuff is serious. It's no wonder Boa falls for him. He sees her in a way no one else on the planet does."
Which you talked about earlier.
I swear to God, I mostly just copied and pasted these. I am not stealing your guys' homework, I swear.
That's excellent. That is it. So
I do. I really just make sure the panel is in copy and paste. This is a fresh read.
That is an unexpected picture and a wonderful take.
That's why I'm really excited for this new section, because this is
really
we love
really
reading
good.
your guys' stuff. You guys have some great input. Nunya Biz 7699 submitted, and this one was uploaded several times, and it's Luffy holding the flag, Herolux flag.
I was about to say that's
Drum Island.
Drum Island. That's a winter coat he's wearing. That. Yeah,
it's unbreakable. This is a very popular one. It's a good one. I love this panel as an earlier One Piece manga power panel because it's when we truly feel how serious Luffy takes his ideals of being a pirate and what it means. So much so that without knowing anything about that flag or its backstory or really about Chopper, Luffy puts everything on the line to defend it and even takes a cannon shot dead on just to prove his point. At this point, we have seen Luffy get this way on defending people, but this is one of the most striking and earliest we see him standing up for an ideal, and not even his own, but for the dreams and the resolve of others. At the point of Sabaody, we have seen it a few times, but this time was one of the earliest and most striking to me.
Nice.
So from Boohawk is taking me right back to the Annie's lobby. This one's rude. Just throw that one up there. Boom. Yeah. All right. If you're crying too, yeah. Oh man, and you wrote an essay. Jeez. Okay, I have to read this.
Holy smokes! That was instant tears.
Isn't it rude? So rude. So rude. Oh, how dare you. So you've seen it. It's the Saul one. No one is born in this world completely alone. I really love this panel, more accurately the whole speech, because it hit a little close to home, as these panels do for a lot of people. I never really had many friends growing up, or close friends that I'd see every other day. Hell, I don't have too many friends right now, certainly none that I see or talk to every other day. I guess the audience name Lonely People is fitting in this case, huh?
Wow.
Anyway, I've had that thought that I might never find those close-knit group of friends, and it's a bit demoralizing, so when I read, listened and watched in my case that scene, I teared up a bit with how Saul said it with such conviction. No matter who you are, ain't no one born into this world to be alone. English dub, by the way. How could I not believe him? I wanted to believe him. I do believe him. So now whenever I'm feeling lonely, like the namesake, or think that I won't ever meet someone, I think of this scene and feel a little better.
Wow.
And I just wanted to mention this. I was split between this scene, Bellamy's one-punch jump panel, or Usopp realizing he can't fall back in his old habits when Nami is counting on them, and everyone is risking their lives during our long part.
You guys keep surprising me. You just keep impressing me and surprising me.
Okay, calming down, because we have another hype moment.
Okay.
Davibber. This is also a common one. Both of these are, actually, this one's back to back, is shoot down that flag.
Yes.
Soga King, shoot down that flag.
Right.
Davibber, Davy BR. Straw Hat's taking on the world government and Soga King showing no fear at all.
Yes.
And then this followed up by Cam9255 showing the aftermath with the flag burning. That's a great panel. I don't know if you consider this a power panel, but I love the symbolism of Luffy asking Soga King to shoot the world government flag declaring war with the world for his friend, all with the background feelings Luffy has regarding a flag, which we learned with Drum Island and Dr. Hiraluk. Did you guys plan this? It's such a powerful moment. He has to have considered that at that moment there could have been a wonderful, heart-provoking story behind the world government flag, the millions and millions of Marines, his grandfather dedicating their lives to it. I don't think there is a beautiful message within the world government flag, but the people under it might see something we as readers and pirates don't. But he doesn't care, and it is shot down in order to protect his friend and to send a message to the world.
Right.
That is a wonderful...
Wow.
That is reading farther into it than I ever did. That's fantastic. I love these. Winter Fox.
A color one.
A color submission.
I like that.
I feel like that's anime. I think it's an anime still.
That could.
I feel like this moment isn't talked about a lot. The way they all declare their dreams aloud to one another, promising to achieve their dreams, but also being there to help obtain their goals. They all understand what they're saying would sound like crazy talk to anyone else, but to each other, it's what drives them to go forward. Up to that point, they hadn't known each other very long, but spent many moments together building a trust. It's them going, here I am, here's what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it alone, and neither are you. And there's a studio dog. Who's getting in the way. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. He just laid down.
Hey, he lays down, that's fine.
Rameshi-kun. Yes, it's that one.
I haven't seen that one.
Since we read it. Since that.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah. No, that one always gets me. This one, if it...
hasn't lost its power.
No, it hasn't. If I ever need to cry on camera, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at this one. And and I'm looking at... Chopper. Touching his head.
Oh, gotcha.
After hurting himself.
Yeah.
It's like those two. If I ever need to cry on camera, those are the two I'm looking at to induce the tears. Okay. It's a perfect demonstration of Luffy as a leader, how he sees beyond what someone tells him, his empathy to understand someone else's emotions and why everyone loves him. This is also the moment Robin releases all the pain she has been holding for 20 years of loneliness, and the perfect kickoff moment to the Void Century mastery. I'm questioning if that was meant to be mystery, but it says mastery, but very well said.
I did not know what I was asking for.
Well,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Our panel could be a lot of things to a lot of different people, and that's what I like about this.
I know.
We get to see your guys' input as we go.
I love this.
Spartan J. Cut. And it's People's Dreams Have No End. Blackbeard to Luffy at their first meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there. I actually do. I remember this one because I think I caught this as I was copying and pasting. So there's one part of this I'm not.
You can't gonna read.
I might not read.
Okay.
I think this panel does so many different things at once. From a meta point of view, this panel encapsulates one of the main themes of the story, whether it be Luffy's dreams or the dreams of those whose will has been passed on to others. And then there's a third line that I am not going to mention. It is a great line that ties the sentence together. Slight spoilers, so I'm just going to play it safe and avoid that, but it is a great addition. Dreams are a core theme of One Piece. From a story perspective, it shows our protagonists opposite what I think will be the final antagonist of the series. Ideologically, they're on the same page, but this panel positions them physically on opposite sides. They are like two sides of the coin. The cherry on top is the giant Don kanji, or symbol, in the background. Oda uses this onomatopoeia all the time for big dramatic moments. It is meant to convey the sound of a drum beat, evoking the drums of I can't read that one either. Oh, evoking drums in this moment that already has so much weight raises this panel to one of my favorites in the whole series. I like that. Slightly spoilery with a couple of those.
That's okay. You cut a couple out. That's good.
That's really good. And it also, you know what's great about that?
Did he say he thinks that these are going to be Blackbeard's going to be the final antagonist? Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Wow.
What I think will be the final antagonist of the series.
Wow.
And the Dawn, big thing in the background, the sound effect.
Right.
Is also, what does Tom say? Do it with a Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
In the English, it was do it with a bang or something like that, but traditionally it's do it with a don, like a drum beat, like a taiko drum beat. He really likes using that sound effect.
Yes, he does.
Rai Ampo. Glad I put a note on that last one. And it's the silhouette of Luffy after ringing the bell.
Yes.
First of all, I love your videos and congratulations to Noah. Thanks. I watched all your One Piece videos from the very start when you introduced One Piece to your dad. Whoop. We're adding that one too.
I can't read. I can't read the text.
I know. I'm going to be very careful.
I mean, like
I don't want to get chewed out.
I physically can't see it.
I know.
Okay. Here, we'll do this.
Well, you'll need to see the panels.
I'll see the panel.
Okay. I've watched all your videos from the very start when you introduced One Piece to your dad. One of my favorite panels is when Luffy rings the golden bell in chapter 299 and his shadow is cast against the light, a foreshadowing from Oda. I love this because Luffy, even with his goofy and funny nature, his actions actually give hope to everyone. And you also get the oh my god, Cricket and the two other the salvage guys on the side reacting to it. And this panel shows exactly what he is as a person, what Luffy is as a person. I just love Skypiea. It's funny, there's so much foreshadowing, especially with the party scene featuring the bonfire dance. I took out one word there and replaced it, specifically.
Okay. Y'all understand that.
Because it's also known as something else. You would have no reference, but I don't want to bring that word up yet. Anyway, it's this panel or when Luffy punched the Celestial Dragon in Sabaody. Because I'm in the current arc now, and I'm still waiting for the Celestial Dragons to be destroyed and eradicated. I hate them. I can't wait for your next video. Congratulations again. And it was Christmas at the time, apparently. Merry Christmas to Dad and Mama Peaches.
Thank you. I hope you had a good Christmas, too.
All right. Sirius Regulus posted...
I recognize that name.
Oh, a lot of these names I recognize from the comments. I've been commenting for a while. It's right when they're leaving the Mary. And they leave... Y'all are rude. That was rude. It's this one. It's the whole thing. To me, this panel... Oh boy, I read ahead like 2 or 3 sentences, unfortunately, so it kind of interrupts my flow when I hit something. To me, this panel is like a time capsule. First time I watched it in the anime, I hated it because of why it makes me sad. Even after I rewatched it many times, I can barely watch through whole episodes. Then I realized a couple years ago, after I read the manga for the first time from chapter 1 to recent chapters, this panel was what made me understand how human my favorite crew are and how young and reckless our captain is. That whole chapter about the quarrel between Usopp and Luffy is still my favorite drama that Oda put into the whole series. Usopp is my favorite crew member and still my favorite till now. He's the most ordinary, common, normal person in One Piece. I think I feel represented by him, being average in society that force you to be extraordinary.
Nice observation.
All right, and more. Hiryu Ray submitted this one of Boa Hancock. Yes, because I'm beautiful. With the doom in the bottom. And this is why I made the comment earlier. Hello. English isn't my first language. I'm using programs to correct myself. So if your writing is off, I sincerely apologize. Do not worry.
Yeah, don't apologize.
Don't apologize for it. This panel is a personal power panel for me, not because of action, but because of visual language. Even though Hancock says, "because I'm beautiful," she doesn't say it from superficial arrogance or for comedic relief, like when it happens to Nami. The way I can tell that it's because the background for this panel is gray and dull. In manga, if that phrase was meant to be charming or funny, we would see more light and sparkles. Who knows, maybe even hearts popping around her. But instead, there's just a gray and dull background from her displeased frown. In comparison, when Nami states that she's beautiful, there are sparkles around her and a lighthearted background, or someone to support it as a comic scene. But when Hancock does it, it's just dark, cold, and serious.
Brilliant catch.
I know it's not an impactful scene in terms of action, but it's a panel that in my eyes is filled with narrative power. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's a power panel. It's a moment when we can either take Hancock as being a simple, arrogant woman with pretty privilege, in quotation marks, or it's a moment that we can take to read beyond the words and see that there's something off in how it's being presented to us. I don't know how much intention Oda put into this panel, but the reading that I got from it made me think a lot about Hancock and what her story was about. I believe that this panel is very important to understand her when we first meet her. Just to add, the double-page spread where the Boa sisters are introduced, Hancock is also over a gray and dull background, even while acting like a spoiled child, as said by Momonga. And the first time she shows an honest smile, one that comes from joy, is when she accepts Luffy as someone who she can trust. For me, the visual hints are very important in general when it comes to a comic book, but I think we lose a lot when we don't pay attention to Hancock's visuals, ironically enough. Overall, I just love Hancock, and when thinking of a power panel, I could just think about her. I even considered choosing a panel where she's using her powers or fighting, but I wanted to be sincere with my answer, so I ended up with this one, which was the one that first came to my mind. I think that there's a lot of subtle power in this panel, but who knows, maybe I'm just crazy for her. That was an incredible analysis.
That was fantastic.
Completely lost on us. Boohawk, and there's another color one. It's Luffy Gatling Lucci.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I did. You have submitted a couple. Okay. And you can submit multiple, by the way.
No, yeah. By all means.
Quote, okay, I wasn't planning on doing more, but once I finished the video and hearing that there's going to be a catch-up power panel thing, I figured I'd put in a couple more submissions. That's great. I mentioned this in a comment before when you asked about what moment Luffy convinced us he would be our captain or be king of the pirates. I forget which. I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I'll summarize. Essentially, the moments that Luffy had, such as how he handled helping Nami with Arlong, or his fight with Crocodile, or showing his growth with Bellamy, or his dedication to ringing the Golden Bell, or how he handled, despite not being the best way to do it, Usopp leaving the crew by sticking to his decision despite how difficult it was. The moment that convinced me was when he fought Lucci, when he said he wouldn't fall again until he beat Lucci, and sticking to his word despite how beat to hell he was. Luffy showed that when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, putting every inch of his life on the line to achieve it. Luffy made me believe completely and unquestionably that when he says, I'm going to be king of the pirates, he'll do it.
Nice.
Same person. I needed that, thank you. Quote, he has an afro. Enough said.
That was the perfect follow-up.
Perfect follow-up. Boohawk again. And it's Usopp in Alabasta, I believe this is. That time is when his friends' dreams are laughed at. Last submission, I swear. It's alright. I don't want to flood this with my own submissions. Okay. I love this panel because it's one of my favorite Usopp putting his foot down and fighting moments. Beat to crap, way outclassed per usual, but the second he hears his captain's dream gets laughed at, Usopp locks in. It was either this or earlier in the fight with Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas, Usopp whipping out the 5-ton hammer. Complete side note, this fight is actually the first thing I had ever seen of One Piece, specifically the 5-ton hammer scene. I think I was like 3 or 4 on a car ride when my brother was watching One Piece.
Nice.
Alright, this one did not submit a name, but they did submit this panel, and it's the Gum Gum Battle Axe from Arlong Park.
Yep.
And they said, no name, said, I love this panel a lot because out of all the finishing moves, this is the one that etched inside me. Even if I forget all the other stuff in One Piece, not that I will, this panel will forever be remembered. Additionally, I love how much this move just symbolized the end of Nami's suffering by showing her how much he's willing to go to save her. It was a really good ending for such an iconic arc in early One Piece. I was already emotionally attached to the story for all the good story writing by this point, but this showed that I can get pumped for hype moments too. Even in the live action trailer, I literally screamed when I saw this featured in it. Sorry about that.
Nice.
Nice. That is a long name. Gyrus? Gyrus was the I also go by this, and it is again the shooting down of the world government flag, the double page spread this time. I mean, the panel speaks for itself, but if I had to say, it's the willingness of the Straw Hats to not let anyone take away their freedom or hurt one of their members, no matter the consequences.
Right.
Well said.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that actually was very well said.
Sam Fisher, 814, also recognize that name from multiple comment sections. I do.
Okay.
And it's the Sky Split.
Oh yeah,
it's the Sky Split.
Sky Split was a good one.
When talking about panels, I think we need to talk about Shanks and Whitebeard splitting the sky. For as strong as Luffy is, this just reminds us that, like with Mihawk during Baratier, Luffy is still bottom of the barrel. Such a subtle and masterful way to world build. How much time did we spend about the scale of this?
Yeah. Yep. Well done. That was a good one.
As we're coming closer to the end of the initial batch, Shiru GT. And we get Zoro facing off with Mr. One in Alabasta.
Yes.
It's showing Zoro's strength, stamina, and resolve. I also love how he's thinking about his crewmates first and foremost in the previous panel, like a little preview of Thriller Bark.
Nice.
And the artwork just...
Yeah. Yeah.
Nina Mason 3866, and we have more color.
Nice.
I probably cheated here by adding a few panels. Sorry. No, it's fine. In reference, volume 18, chapter 164. We have a. Oh, what is that? When you quote the source by. In your
a citation.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. A citation. I love that. Chapter 164, I Love My Country. Context, these panels take place at the very beginning of the Alabasta adventures. The gang has reached the Yuba Oasis, which under Crocodile's weather manipulation has become a sand wasteland. Toto, the old man, won't let himself be defeated by the many sandstorms and stays in his house no matter how hard it's become to live there. He digs for hours on end in the blazing sun or freezing nights just to get barely enough water to survive. Since he welcomed the gang, he took on the duty to go back and dig some more after they all went to sleep in order to get enough water for everyone. Luffy is the only one awake and asks what he's doing. Toto replies that he owes everything to Cobra and won't give up on him or his lands. Luffy immediately exclaims, well, let's dig then. Why I love these panels. Luffy was so tired himself after such a long and chaotic journey without water, but he doesn't hesitate 1 second to help this old man he just met, acknowledging both his sacrifice in the task and loyalty gratitude towards the king. Parentheses, he's also thirsty. He fell asleep while digging, either because it took him a long time or because he exhausted himself by going hard and fast at it. No matter his efforts, he still hasn't reached any water. Toto notices him and smiles such a warm smile. Then we can assume he carried Luffy out of the hole into the room with the rest of the crew, put a little blanket on him, and went back to work. One day, Luffy will be Pirate King. He'll be known through countless epic stories, retelling of battles, bounty posters growing ever so expensive. I just read a couple sentences there. But there will be so many people for whom he'll just be remembered as a nice kid. More than a freedom fighter, a warrior, a pirate, there are so many instances where all those titles in history mean nothing. Night falls, and under the moonlight, tucked in a blanket, snoring away, Luffy is a small island boy with a heart big enough to reshape the world, no matter how big or small. Some of the people he helped along the way may never even learn his feats or his full name, the way they even forget the time they cross paths. But Luffy has no care for it, he just does what feels right. I'm currently up to date with the manga, and regardless of how high the stakes rise or how crazy the story gets, at the heart of it, Luffy remains the nice kid willing to drop everything to help a stranger. Fuck, these are getting hard to read. Jeez.
You want me to read one?
You said you couldn't read them.
Well, you could move the computer over it.
I could.
Take a look at it. What do we have here?
Name, panel, and description.
Sarah Lewis C's?
You know, the more you just read, and the more you read people's thoughts, it just makes you relive the journey. And that's really what gets me at points like this, is like...
When I first read this panel, at the time they were halfway through Wano to current, I read this line with this face, and it just struck me as this crucially important moment. I actually have an old screenshot from the scan I read initially. If you know, you know. The story of One Piece almost revolves around this panel.
And that's after the golden bell is ringing. It's ringing today.
Yes.
It'll ring again tomorrow.
We have that. Okay. No name given. Oh. Anything man can imagine is a possibility in reality, because it just shouts adventure right before we get into the most pure adventure arc in the whole manga. The quote is also great and sums One Piece up perfectly. For added giggles, this is the last thing that happens in the 4Kids version of the anime, if I remember correctly, implying the show ends with everyone getting squished by a giant boat. That
is right before Skypiea, too.
Yes, it is. Mel Wosoda. Kablam. Brother Luffy. That's Arlong,
yep,
right
that's
there.
Arlong Park.
That is Arlong
Oh, that's
Park,
that's Zoro's buddies.
Which one is Arlong? Who are you? I'd say this is my favorite panel pre-chapter 514 because I believe it captures the core of who Luffy is. At this moment, Luffy has no idea what Arlong has done to Nami, besides that he made her cry, and that's enough for him to lay his life on the line, fighting an opponent he doesn't even know. He doesn't care about Arlong's strength or that he has to march straight into his house. He only cares that Arlong hurt his friend, who he's probably only known for 2 weeks at most by this point in the story. This moment fully displays Luffy's unbending love for any of his friends and the lengths he'll go to support them. We see this time and time again throughout the story, most notably during Ennie's lobby, when the Straw Hats declare war on the world government for Robin without a deep understanding of why they want her. Ooh, interesting line.
I'm telling you, these are great. I told you before this, like, that we were getting essays.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
Man, this
is a great
line.
addition to the. So submit more power panels
at ProMastarbig7935. The lack of vowels there makes it very hard to pronounce. Is that Buggy?
That's Buggy trying to cut.
Yeah.
That's Loketown.
I'm a goner. Sorry. Look at the grin on his face.
Yeah.
Okay, no, don't talk crazy. And he laughed. That's great. It's Smoker. He laughed. Look at that expression.
He laughed. That's his thought. He laughed. That's such a...
One of my favorite early panels is from Loketown, the moment when Luffy is about to be executed by Buggy. Instead of fear, he simply smiles and tells his crew, "Sorry, I'm dead." think I laughed out loud when I read that the first time. Smoker's reaction adds a lot to the scene. His shock at seeing Luffy laugh in the face of death makes him instinctively compare the moment to the execution of Goldie Roger. Yes.
Yes.
And I think we talked about that.
We did, because Smoker goes into that. But no, it's a great moment.
It is.
I mean, power panel, he's laughing in the face of death, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of sets the stage for the entire series.
Yes.
Right.
But not even, but that's like, that's not even laughing like, ha 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 ha, I've beaten you, or ha ha ha, I'll go through this. That's a smile of someone who has accepted that he's not getting out.
Sure.
So, I mean, he fully expected, and then of course, a lightning bolt comes down and saves him, and it's like, he's like, oh, well, that was lucky, and it's like, oh, that's Luffy.
Alright, so we have the world flag panel again from...
No, that's Drum Island. That's Hero Lux flag again.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Witless Trigram.
Yeah. Did you take this because there's a spoiler in here?
Huh?
No.
Nope, I just moved it.
Oh, gotcha.
I was going to take back over.
Oh, alright, there you go.
Throwing this, I've recovered enough.
Gotcha.
My eyes are no longer as sore. From welling up and holding back tears. It's the See It's Unbreakable panel. It shows true resilience and the effort to keep what matters most to you and others, that regardless of the outcome, you can choose to live above it all and be unbreakable.
Nice.
And that is the last power panel for this video.
Okay, y'all went above and beyond, and I'm really impressed with these submissions. Thank you very much for that.
That was amazing, and yes, the form is in the description, so if you have power panels, past, present, or upcoming, go ahead and submit them. Past and present will be included in this section of future videos. Future will be held on to until the appropriate video.
I don't know about you. I'm exhausted.
I am exhausted.
When I came here tonight and I said, we're going to do a short segment on Impel Down.
No, that was last time. This was the full Impel Down, Amazon, and a little bit of Marineford, but we'll have to dive into Marineford hard. I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a great video. I'm so excited.
So now it's your...
Oh, the phone's ringing.
Now it's your turn, and you've impressed us with the panels. We love the comments. What do you think?
Keep the comments up. It helps the algorithm.
Nothing self-serving there. I
don't know what you're talking about.
What did we miss? What do you disagree with? What do you love? What do you hate? What do you think? Share your thoughts.
Yeah, what did we miss? Because we'll be reading the comments.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and I will make an effort to respond to more. I've been slacking here a little of late.
So, comment on the videos, and we read them. We do read them, even if we don't respond. We do read them, and power panels. Submit those power panels.
Oh, love that.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Love that.
That was great.
Yeah, leave your thoughts on Impel Down.
So I can't imagine we'd need to say this at this point, but if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've made it this far and you're new to the channel, wow!
There's an entire playlist waiting for you.
There is, we
hear in the comments.
hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Remember, if you're going to leave a spoiler, just write spoiler on top, and I won't read it, and that'll be cool.
100%.
Yeah.
But that does it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.